back to Saturday's Supercade.
When you gotta have a story, or you're gonna lose your job.
It's Donkey Kong! Coming up next!
Saturday's Supercade will return after these messages.
All across America, an amazing phenomenon is happening. With Zip sneakers, kids are getting dressed in a flash. Straps and zippers make zips easy to get into, and they come in all these flashy colors. Zips by Stride Rite. They not only go on in a flash, they go off in a flash. Now Zip stickers are available free at participating Stride Rite stores. No purchase necessary.
Boy, I wish the Crunch Island treasure was mine.
You can win $1,000 of it.
$1,000?
Just check the treasure chest and specially marked boxes of Cap'n Crunch cereal for a coin that says you win.
I won.
I'll give you $1,000 to save, or buy something special, or treat your family.
I'll get it.
For free treasure coins, write Treasure Hunt, Box 789, Young America, Minnesota, 55399. Chance to win is about 1 in 56,000.
Nice tip there.
Hey, it's Cubert coming up next.
Saturday's Supercade will return after these messages.
Ronald McDonald in Dreamy Breakfast.
This morning it seems Ronald's having a dream.
Time for breakfast, Bertie.
Oh, boy, hotcakes.
Hoppin' McHotcakes. After him, Bertie.
You betcha.
What? Whoops. Gotcha.
Not you. Ronald.
Time for breakfast with a friend.
Wow. Yummy hotcake syrup and butter.
Plus juice and milk.
Breakfast.
A dream come true.
McDonald's and you.
It's you against the Cobra. The Hot Wheels Cobra stunt set. You put it together, snaky coils, slippery straights. You can take it on with your Hot Wheels Cobra race car.
You want to go first? Sure. Okay. I'll show you how it's done, and I'll make it even tougher. Super.
Hot Wheels Cobra stunt set comes with Cobra race car and 8 feet of track. Some cars not for use with some sets. New from Hot Wheels by Mattel.
Saturday's Supercade will return.
Stay tuned for the thrilling Dungeons and Dragons.
Look out!
Right after Saturday's Supercade.
Oh, isn't that cute?
This is CBS.
In a world where television has brought people closer together, we have a responsibility to each other. I'm Peter Lund of WCBS TV. We in the business community have the resources and the experience to lend a hand to our public schools. We can offer encouragement and let students know how much we value their contribution. Channel 2 is proud to have formed a partnership in education with Seward Park High School. We urge you to join us in celebrating Adopt a School Month, because a good education is everyone's business.
Care Bears and the Freeze Machine tonight at 7:30.
And now back to Saturday's Supercade.
Take a cue from... Donkey Kong Jr. coming up next.
Saturday's Supercade will return after these messages.
The Honeycomb Kid.
Practicing at 6 a.m. is tough, but so is the competition at the state finals. And I want our school to win. Working to win means eating right, too. Like honeycomb cereal is part of a complete breakfast. It's got that big crunchy taste and really helps me recharge.
Honeycomb, the big bite gets you going right.
Would you like a strawberry shortcake and a Care Bear character to throw a party at your house? That's what 50 kids will win in the Best of Friends sweepstakes. A party with 20 best friends and 2 special ones.
For free entry blanks and details, you can visit participating stores or send a self-addressed envelope to Best of Friends, P.O. Box 4394R, Blair, Nebraska 68009. Thousands will enter, 50 will win a party. There are 1,500 other prizes, too.
The Best of Friends sweepstakes for the strawberryist. Care Berryist party.
And now, back to Saturday's Supercade.
I mean, Cormac? Huh? Oh, right, Junior. That should hold them for a while.
Saturday's Supercade will return after these messages.
Bet you can't do it.
Are you kidding?
Bet you can't bite a new Chips Ahoy cookie without biting a chip.
No problem.
See, you bit one.
One more chance.
Chips Ahoy's added lots more pure chocolate. Now there's 24 chips in every cookie, so we bet you bite a chip every time.
That was just practice.
Bit one, huh?
It's not fair. Full of chips.
When you bite a new Chips Ahoy, we bet you bite a chip.
How many chances do I get anyway?
Inside the city of Toothopolis.
Our powerful secret weapon, Advanced Formula Crest Gel, is ready.
And just in time as...
Cavity creeps attacking! Pull out the Crest teeth!
Holes and teeth.
Crest Gel, Crest Gel.
Crest Gel with Fluorostat ready, sir!
Fire away!
Repelled by Crest Gel.
Yeah!
Watch sweets.
See your dentist!
And fight the cavity creeps with our great tasting secret weapon.
Advanced Formula Crest Gel.
Saturday's Supercade will return after these messages.
Alvin, Simon, Theodore. The collection. Each in really cute outfits. You can collect them one at a time or in sets. And pretend to play ball with Simon. But you know what's best about them? Their funny little faces. The Chipmunk Collectibles. Alvin, Simon, and Theodore. Sold separately or in sets of 3. New from Ideal.
Monday, it's Flash Spiegel with Snoopy's Secret Life, where Charlie Brown loses Pooch to life in the fast lane. Then it's a comedy extravaganza, the all-new Daffy Duck's Easter show.
SpaghettiOs presents Mr. O and his lunchtime show. Today, Professor Popple has cooked up some nutritious dishes.
Protein is important to children, so ta-da! Protein Power Punch. And for iron, my steam iron stew. Well, what do kids like at noon?
Eat round spaghetti you can eat with a spoon. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. And SpaghettiOs with meatballs are more than just delicious. They're nutritious.
Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs.
You can imagine they're from another world. Mighty robots disguised as mighty vehicles. You can pretend only you and the friendly GoBots can save the Earth from the enemy GoBots.
You're trapped, Turbo.
Leader, one to the rescue!
They hide among us as earthly vehicles, but you can change them into robots, each sold separately.
Take this, Psycho! Now who's trying?
GoBots. Leader 1, Turbo.
Welcome everyone. That was the wrong intro. That was my my little tribute to my girlfriend Teal Swan. I'm being quite sarcastic, by the way. Oh, Teal Swan. I don't know if you guys are familiar with her. That's another fun, interesting person there. And not interesting in the way that she thinks she is. Oh man, hold on. Yep. Okay, that should be fine. All right. So yeah, Zav girl. Oh man. So last night we went over Brian Enton, and he had the lead prosecutor in Letitia Stout's trial, who is convicted currently of murdering Gannon in the most brutal fashion that I can ever even imagine. And since Brian Enton's small, short, little, I guess, feature, I guess is what you would call it. Since then, it picked up a lot of traction. Let's put it that way. Newsweek did an article on it. I don't know if, I'll go over the article in Newsweek if you guys want me to, but I don't think it's going to say anything that we don't already know. The point is that, and I believe the British Independent also did a story on this. So congratulations, Zav girl. You are now internationally infamous. Way to go. And sometimes I wonder if these people do these things, because I know Canceled Karen, aka the Critical K, I know Canceled Karen wanted any kind of publicity. It didn't matter if it was bad, it didn't matter if it was good. She just didn't care. Just as an example of what I'm talking about, this is someone who's also exploited this case in an ugly manner. But luckily, by the time that the trial actually finally started, she was already well booted off of YouTube. She had a new channel, but nobody was paying attention. She would have maybe like 20 people in her chat, and nobody cared. But Wonderlust, thank you. Welcome to Logic. Remember for 1 month. Love you too. She simply didn't care. And she just wants to go the opposition and try to make everyone mad with her bullshit opinions, which are not even logical opinions whatsoever. All right, Lindsay M. That's my horrible Scottish accent. Welcome. So she just didn't care. And she just enjoyed pissing people off until it got her booted off of YouTube twice. And during that trial, she talked up this God, I just remembered her name earlier. I was thinking about this idiot, Dr. Lewis, the one witness that Letitia's defense had to call on the stand, who completely and totally shit the stand when she got up there. She has this documentary about her on HBO Max, and that's her claim to fame. But she's an idiot. Dr. Dorothy Lewis is an absolute and total quack, and she proved it on the stand during that trial, wasting everyone's time. The defense made this. They called this witness because the defense called this witness because she was famous, because of this documentary. She had interviewed Ted Bundy at one time, so that was her claim to fame. And she based her whole career on the idea behind dissociative identity disorder, which most educated people that I've heard from will say, and at least in psychological circles, they consider her to be a quack, because she basically is hyper focused on the diagnosis of dissociative identity disorder, and this dissociative identity disorder is extremely rare, and the way that it's supposed to be blown up is, and the way that it started being blown up was from the book and then television movie starring Sally Field called Sybil, which you might remember a couple of years before, taking place a couple of years before these commercials that we were watching before the stream started. Now, so Canceled Karen thought it was a great idea to talk this woman up like she was a genius and a misunderstood, fucking Rembrandt of psychology, and she's just not. And what she did was just make a circus. She contributed to Letitia making a circus out of the entire proceedings, and that's all that was. Make no mistake, there was so much evidence, and Letitia basically just went to trial because she figured it would stall. It would stall the process of her going to prison. And she was right. She basically, her pleading not guilty was merely just a tactic to stall the inevitable, which was to go to prison. The evidence was overwhelming, and her defense was a joke. The one thing that they were trying to say was that she was guilty by reason of not guilty by reason of insanity, due to the fact that this quack from television diagnosed her with dissociative identity disorder, even though she had already been evaluated before that. and she was actually diagnosed, I believe, with something to do. I can't really remember. I know that there was narcissism in there, narcissistic tendencies. But the truth is, I just didn't really pay attention to it because it didn't matter. I don't care. I know that she was of sound enough mind to murder Gannon, dispose of his body, clean up the crime scene, pick up his body and move it and travel to Florida and dump it again. Also attacking a deputy and trying to escape during her extradition. And then afterwards saying that she was going to represent herself because she's not guilty. And COVID, all that did was just help her stalling tactics. It gave her more to work with in her efforts to stall the inevitable. So the trial itself was a farce. The trial itself was another tactic for Letitia to put Gannon's loved ones through that much more suffering and through that much more torture. And I don't care how else you put it. That's all that was. No doubt in my mind, that is all that was. She was sound enough mind to do all of these things and manipulate, and she was of sound enough mind to also lie constantly to everyone and avoid anything, any subject that might lead to getting to the answers of what happened to Gannon every time that she was questioned, and including after her arrest, after they already had all the evidence they needed, and after her arrest, when they picked her up in South Carolina, the FBI agent that doesn't take the stand because he's FBI, even though he took the stand and testified on that entire interrogation and walked the jury through the entire interrogation. According to Bullhorn Betty, the FBI agents never take the stand because they don't want to show their cards. And we're going to watch a little bit of Betty a little later because it's fun. It's always fun. But this stuff by Zav Girl, I mean, I truly believe that she knew that it was going to cause controversy, and she thought that the controversy would get her more views. And it might, but for a second, as soon as people just look at her, listen to her, once she finally comes back from vacation, once she finally goes live and then addresses the community and gives an empty bullshit apology or half-ass apology, or even apologizes at all if she does, people are going to see right through it, and then they're going to just log off. And that's all that's going to happen. I was texting with another creator who has a very large platform, and this was yesterday, and I get a text and they're like, "Man, Brian Enton is getting involved in this," and I was like, "Oh yeah, I heard." And then this person was like, "Dude, I don't know, man. If Brian Enton was going after me, I would be shitting myself." That's what this person said, which I thought was hilarious because, yeah, I mean, you're done. Like, once that happens, you're fucking done. And I just, the further everything goes, I'm just more and more convinced that this person is completely oblivious to any sense of empathy whatsoever. She doesn't even know what empathy looks like because she can't relate to it. She's incapable of it. And this was proven to me this morning, because I wake up and I'm like, of course, I look at my phone, I look at the notifications, I check them all, answer some, and I'm like, okay, wait, what? And then I get a DM from another creator who sent me a screenshot of Zav's community post. And I mean, let's just picture the situation. Let's sum up the scenario that we've all been paying attention to here. The entire community gets pissed off at Zav Girl for what she did, naturally. And then it gets Brian Enton from News Nation gets wind of it. He gets pissed off, throws in a bunch of tweets about how mad he is, then says that he's going to discuss the situation with the lead prosecutor at 9 p.m. last night Eastern time. And then after that, like I said, Newsweek writes a story about it. And before that, Fox 31 in Denver does a story about it. Then Newsweek does a story about it. Then the British Independent does a story about it. And now, Zavgirl's response to all this is, can someone please email me contact info for Landon that is accurate and up to date if possible? And I said that word the way that it is spelled. No disrespect to Landon, because this is someone who I find very interesting. This one particular fact here that I find extremely interesting is Zavgirl did all this content on this case, and she's so interested in the science and the education, right? But you know how I know that that's all bullshit? You know how I know that it's all bullshit, that she gives a shit about any victims? Is because even to this day, after all of this, she still can't even spell the victim's mother right. I mean, how many times have you seen this written down? Did you do any research, Zavgirl, when you were going over this case? Or did you just realize that everyone was talking about it and you wanted to pull off your next Kylie Rodney escapade and use Gannon to do it? Because that's the way it comes off. I mean, you can't even spell the mother of a murdered 11-year-old boy's name correctly, whose case you've been covering all this time. You did so many videos. I mean, let's before we get, let me do this. Let's see how many lives. So she did, let's see, at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Six, 7, 8. So at least 8 videos between lives and videos. Some of them pre-recorded videos. She did at least 8 and never bothered to learn the spelling of Gannon's mother's name. I mean, this case is 3 years old. And does she expect us to believe that she cares anything about victims? I mean, one of the first things that I do is when I'm covering a case, I'm like, I want to make sure that I'm getting everybody's spelling right. It's really important, especially if they are the loved ones of a victim. And it's just it's like the most minimal respect that you can do. It's the most minimal effort that you can make to show that you actually give a shit about these victims and their loved ones. Seriously, it's not that hard. You know? You don't just assume the spelling of someone's name. And I have misspelled names before. I forget names all the time. Like, you watch me up here. One of the things that you'll see me do a million times is have a straight up brain fart. I will be in the middle of talking and then blank. It happens all the time. Serious ADHD happens all the time. But you know, at the very least, make the effort. You know what I mean? At the very least, make the effort. And I haven't even gotten what was to what was fucked up here. I mean, can someone please email me contact info for Landon that is accurate and up to date if possible? Thank you. First of all, she wants people to do her favors. Why put that publicly like that? You know what I mean? Like, what's the point of putting that publicly? Does she not have moderators? Because I'm telling you, I wouldn't be able to find the tag on my shirt if it weren't for Cherry. You know, Cherry is amazing. And it's because, you know what I mean? I'm not, I have, like I said, I have brain farts all the time. I have major ADHD. You know, I'm a mess. I am a mess. I am the most disorganized person that I know. But the thing is I care, you know? So if I can't get something done, if I don't count on myself to get something done well and accurate, I will seek the help of someone, because I do not want to disrespect the integrity of anything that I'm talking about. I just don't want to do that. It's okay to not be a good speller. It's okay to forget names. It's okay to just simply be human. But what's not okay is to not make the effort when you're talking about real life people who are going through something that you can't even begin to imagine what it's like to go through. You're showing a lack of interest to show any respect, you know? And I that's something that you can't fake, you know? Like, I could play off my brain farts sometimes, you know, because they're embarrassing. You know what I mean? I feel stupid when they happen. Seriously, I do. But the thing is, you know, in order to not get anxious about it, then I remind myself it's really not that big a deal. You know, like it's not that serious. It's okay. You know, I take comfort in knowing that I actually make the effort. You know, so it's just incredible to me. So I mean, this case is 3 years old, and this trial just wrapped up. She talked about it every single day and didn't even bother to try to find out what the spelling was of the victim's family. Incredible. I can't see chat while I'm reading this stuff, guys, so I apologize. So there's 1,220 comments here. I mean, what did she think was going to happen? But I'm blown away. I'm still stuck on, real quick, I'm still stuck on the lack of the audacity, but we'll get to the audacity in a second. But the complete and utter lack of any self-awareness in how she looks by blasting all over YouTube when the whole world, literally the whole world, is talking about her. Well, people are talking about her all over the world, is what I should say. Sorry, I was looking at chat. I don't seem to understand. I just don't understand, man. Like I look at someone like Zav Girl and what they do, and after everything, after the hell of a day she must have had on the internet, she decides to publicly show the internet that she she has no methods of her own to research. I mean, because this shit is fucking basic. I mean, somebody as well known as Landon is at this point. Mariposa Mar 3, thank you so much. Thank you for Gannon, our hero. Appreciate that. See, I'm having a brain fart right now. She's basically showing everyone right now with this post, and we're going to go back to it in a second, but she's basically sharing with everyone in this post the fact that she actually has no research skills, because Landon is a relatively famous person. Her full name is quite public. First of all, if you reach out to her in a time like this, you are a complete and utter shitbag. But if you're Zav Girl and reaching out to her at a time like this, you're something else. I don't even know what to categorize you as. Because if you think that Landon wants to hear from you of all people right now, you are sorely mistaken and painfully egotistical. Painfully egotistical in the sense that you are so egotistical that it's difficult to watch. It's difficult to see. It's difficult to be aware that you exist in that manner. It's incredible to me. What in blue perfect hell would make you think that Landon wants to hear from you privately right now? I mean, does she think she's going to be friends with her? Does she think she's going to con her? It just doesn't make sense why there's any logical reason why she would be trying to reach out to Landon privately. But it says something. It actually says something about her audacity. It says something about her audacity. Because that audacity right there is coming from the same place in here that told her it was okay to fucking obtain Gannon's autopsy photos and put them out there and charge $3 a head for it. I mean, it's coming from the same place. It's like she just continues to be Zav Girl, you know? It's really fascinating. Elaine McKenzie, thank you so much. I missed a lot because I kept popping in and out. Please stop the long length adverts. It is weird. Other than that, I love your content. I'm sorry, but you're outvoted. I appreciate the $5. It's going to take a hell of a lot more than $5 to stop doing something that I like and the rest of my chat likes too. So yeah. But nice try. Anyway, yeah, $5 does not purchase you. I mean, it does actually. If anybody has any complaints, please refer to them in the super chat section on the bottom. Complaints, Karening, $5 a pop. Okay, that is the going rate here on the Glarer. At the Glarer, if you want to complain, if you want to Karen, $5. Okay. That's the minimum. For 10, you can call me a cunt. All right. All right. So Zav Girl goes on. She doesn't go on here, but of course she left her comments open, which is very interesting. Oh, is this a complaint? Kyla Marie, thank you so much. I feel like if she actually was sorry and just dumb, she would have said she was donating all the money she's made from it to the family or a foundation. At least. Absolutely. At least. Absolutely. I completely and totally agree with you. So let's go over some of these comments. Now, I'm not going to read 1,220 of them, you know, but I mean, did she think she was going to get some sort of positive feedback? Because this was clearly for attention. Posting this, she thought she was going to get some sort of positive attention from this. Seasons, thank you so much. Honestly, I'm still in speechless mode, but thank you, Glare Mods and chat, for always having Gannon's back. Gannon strong, blue hearts for Gannon. Yes, absolutely. Please show Seasons some love, chat, and throw some more blue hearts up for Gannon. Appreciate that. And make sure, guys, to to share Gannon's make sure to share Gannon's image as much as you can. You are free to clip anything that I post. You are more than free to clip anything that I post. And you know, I think a good thing to do here, honestly, is to just flood the internet with the positive images of Gannon, as opposed to the disgusting, horrible images that Zavgirl put out there on the internet. So, and Natasha Cooper as well, and anybody else who shared that shit. Hackham, thank you so much. Appreciate the super sticker. But yeah, you guys are free to, honestly, you're free to clip anything that I have. I mean, I'm not weird about that at all. That's in its entirety in the last few videos that I've done, that video that I made. And it's also used when I stream the trial. Those are still up. All kinds of places you can clip that from, and screenshot some of those photographs if you like. And maybe if I'm not sure, I will try to maybe share some of the photos in my community, and that way you guys can screenshot them and share them in your social media as well. And let's also do that to help promote awareness for this thing that's only in a working theory at the moment, but what is Gannon's law that I'm hoping will happen. So sometime at some point we can try to get this to not happen again, or at least be able to criminally hold someone accountable for doing something like this. Because some might say, well, what about her rights? Well, you know what? What about Landon's rights? And what about Al's rights? What about Nana's rights? I mean, let's think about that for a second. Let's dive into something kind of deep here for a second, folks. For a mother to lose her child is something that I've always imagined to be one of the worst pains that a woman could ever go through. I can't imagine. I can't begin to imagine. The connection that a mother has with their child it's not earned. It's a given from birth. It's a given from the womb. And a child with their mother is just naturally, in the most Darwinian sense, connected. It's just one of those things that just is. Same way 5 fingers generally grow on someone's hand, you know, it's the way a mother and child are connected at birth. Brianna, I'm totally caring. I'm trying to get Charlie, Enaber, Marky, Atasi, and whatever other YouTube commentary channels I can get to pay attention. Okay, thank you. Barbie Ogden, thank you. Your awesome heart. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. So thinking about that and how connected a mother just naturally is with their child, let's stop and think what that's like for Gannon's grandmother. Let's stop and think what it's like for a grandmother who has already peaked in her years, most likely, has already peaked in her years, and is now growing closer and closer to being elderly, if not already. And those years start to become more and more numbered, obviously, the older you get. And to have to bear the pain of losing your grandchild has got to be one of the most painful things, because there is this also a natural responsibility that takes place, just as it's a natural responsibility for a mother to breastfeed their child, at birth. That's a natural responsibility. It's a natural responsibility for Ganon's grandmother to not only have to mourn Ganon in very similar ways that Landon has to, but she also has to be there to be a mom for Landon and comfort her through this. More than likely not knowing what her daughter is going through, but still having to be there and comfort her through all of this. And Landon, vice versa, having to deal with losing her child and having to comfort her mother, Ganon's grandmother. This is just a fraction of that feeling that you just got in your gut imagining this. That's just a fraction of what you could even imagine. Not to mention what you can imagine, but what you can even imagine their household is like every day. Every day since Ganon went missing. That is, to me, something that has flashed in my mind over and over again since Ganon's grandmother made that post. So, for Zav Girl not to consider this, because again, this is a clear display of someone who's only thinking about themselves. If I wasn't sure that Zav Girl had no empathy for victims or their families, I am now. Just from this post right here, this short, entitled post, because the sense of entitlement in this post is amazing to me. She's got the whole community so angry and disappointed in her. And she has the nerve to ask the community for Landon's personal contact information, if anyone has it. Do you think that anybody close enough to Landon who has that personal information is going to be willing to give it to her, of all people? Do you think that they're going to be like, yeah, I got you? Do you think that they're not more pissed off than anyone else in this community? How can you be so arrogant as to think that anyone who has Landon's contact info isn't incredibly angry with you? And how do you not think that you aren't the last person on the planet that they would give it to? Annie, it's good to see you. What's up, homie? My mom once told me that grandmas love their grandkids even more than their own children. That it's a different kind of love, a powerful love. Yeah, I absolutely believe that. I absolutely believe that. So let's get into some of the comments here. Because this is you guys. This is the community answering back and reacting to this, because not only was this an attack on Landon and anyone else who loved Gannon in his personal life, not only was this post totally dismissive of their feelings, but this post was also completely and totally arrogant and presumptuous of you people. All of you, everyone in this community, like someone is going to throw her a bone and go, yeah, here's the person whose heart you just re-broke. Here's their personal contact information, because you're the one that they want to hear from the most right now privately. I mean, the arrogance, the audacity, the self-oblivion, I can't even begin to describe it. And then somebody says, I really hope a civil suit is filed against both you and Cooper. Yeah, all right. Well, that's somebody doxing there, so I'm not going to read that. You think they need your excuses? You trying to make them feel bad for what's not happening to you. Why wouldn't you publicly apologize to them and leave them alone? It's not like you have information they need. You'll only make it worse. Exactly. Perfectly said. And then the replies to this go on to say, trying to save her own butt, self-preservation. It is too late. Yes, she needs to do a live publicly stating how stupid it was of her to do what she did. She needs to apologize to Gannon's family, and that she forgot to type needs. Sometimes I'm thinking and not typing fast enough, and then I skip words and I post that shit. It happens to me all the time. She needs to apologize to Gannon's family and all of you, YouTube and other social media. She is all throughout Google. All you have to do is type her name. She did it again. And type her name in. And what's the first thing that pops up? I don't know if it's true or not, but I think the pictures are up on Reddit and said, I'm not sure. That's what I said in Google. The only site is I'm on is YouTube. Sorry, Dawn. I got about 10% of that. I'll be honest with you. It happens in comments. I'm not trying to take a jab at you because I type quick and emotional sometimes too. She isn't sorry for what she said. Hi to you. I agree. No, she is not sorry. Right. She is essentially sold violent child porn. Sick. That might seem like an exaggeration, but it says, right. She essentially sold violent child porn. Sick. Let's explore that for a second. Because it absolutely could be that. Now, if somebody tries to say that was her intention, I'm going to defend her in that instance. I'm going to go, okay, you're fucking reaching. Okay. But the fact of the matter is, technically, she put what could be used as child death porn out there into the world, and she charged money for it to be out there into the world, $3 a head. So technically, she sold it. Yes. And she put it out there without having any regard to what anybody could possibly do with it. And that, people, is a desecration of Gannon's remains to a certain degree. Not literally, okay? Not literally, but the image of his remains that should only be seen by people in law enforcement and people trying to solve this crime. Because I don't even think that the parents need to see that. If they choose to, they have the right. That's different. But there's no actual need for the parent to see their child in that state unless they request it. Unless there's something in them that says, no, I need to see my boy, which is perfectly understandable. But what I'm saying is, Aside from that, there is absolutely no need for the parents to see that. And on top of everything else that we just discussed, now the option has been robbed from these parents to see their child like this. See, Landon was able, she had fair warning, she was able to get up out of the courtroom and walk out. She was able to do that. But what if she opens the wrong email? What if there's some sick fuck out there who thinks who gets their jollies from harassing parents of victims? And then she just opens an email and there are pictures of her son. Zavgirl made that possible. And that's just one scenario in an ocean of possible scenarios. And I mean an ocean of possible scenarios. That's just one. Gannon's family was robbed of the option of and having control over when they when and how or what state and how and what manner they choose to see the images of their child and what images those are. Before Zavgirl, they had control over that. And that control should be in the parents' hands and only the parents' hands. And Zavgirl robbed them of that control. People go on to say, and this is just the replies from that one. This is sad and sick. Gannon being hurt over and over and over again. He suffered enough with that killer, and now even more with this thing. Totally agrees. Zav has no remorse. How many days ago did she post these pictures? Blah, blah, blah. I mean, in what world do you think it's okay to contact his mother after you posted pics of her child's corpse? That's insane. I got to remember to give these a like when I say. If you have any respect, go through her lawyer. I'm sure the prosecutor's office could point you in the correct direction. Maybe do your own research and not ask on your community page. Right. On what planet do you think it's appropriate to contact Landon? This is not okay. Please stop re-traumatizing the family. Dude, just that comment alone has 440 likes. As someone who has worked on death and dying for 20 years, you need to know that what you did was not appropriate at all. There is a code of dignity with caring for those who have died and their families. The pain you have inflicted on his family is enormous. An apology without actions will not suffice. Even in your question, you don't even say you would like to apologize to his family. You just wanted the info. The best thing you can do is contact their lawyer, go through them. Then, if you want to publicly apologize, then you can do that. Any monies you have made off their son needs to go to wherever the family wants it to go. Then close your channel. In any business, you would have been fired for what you did. Please seek someone to talk about this, like a counselor, because even in all this fury, you need someone to help you unpack this. Now, this is my prediction, folks. This is my prediction. Yeah, that was a great comment, by the way. But this is my prediction. She's either going to leave YouTube or YouTube is going to boot her off. Because I still stand by my theory that since there is a monetary partnership between a creator and YouTube, YouTube does not want to be in a partnership that could cause them any liability whatsoever. Now, the thing is she didn't violate terms of service in any way. YouTube could not be liable unless that's a question for Mystery Maven, who's in the chat right now. But I don't think YouTube could be held liable for that, but maybe the fact that she used YouTube to advertise it, maybe, because she did use YouTube to advertise it. And people are trying to say she didn't advertise it before. No, she did, because Deets on the Streets did a live, and I was on her panel along with a bunch of other creators, and she did this live stream and she showed Zav Girl prior to posting it and actually telling people about it, and then people telling her, why would you do that? People in her chat telling you, why would you do that? And then her defending herself on it. I mean, as a matter of fact, I'm sure she won't mind. I will just hold on. And make sure to subscribe to Deets on the Streets, y'all, because she is an efficient creator, whether it be true crime or the Deets on the YouTube streets. But she is extremely efficient and prides herself on accuracy.
You were always overthinking every little step that you would ever take.
That real quick, because I'm not a fan of the music she uses. I'm such a dick. Okay, I'm just trying to find the spot where she went over it. I don't have a timestamp for it, so I'm just kind of like sifting through it just to see if I can find it. Oh, here we go. I got it. Oh, shit. All right.
Wait, what do you want? Do you want over to the hive? Where's the hive?
I want to make sure that's the beginning.
This is first posted it. Someone was talking about it in chat. I don't know if they reshared with me, but this is last night at the end of her live when people come in and call her out on it. So
Wait, what do you want? Do you want over to the hive? Where's the hive?
She knows what that shit is.
There are a few people that I can't stand.
And you got to understand there's going to be commentary over this because this is the only place I knew where to find it. Patricia Sell, thank you. Will, please give our lovely Lawyer Mystery Maven a big shout out for everything she continues to contribute to chats. Oh, yeah, for sure. Lawyer Mystery Maven is dope as hell, and make sure to subscribe to her. And she was just on, I just watched the replay of it, Lawyer Mystery Maven, Jess. The channel that you were on, you can go ahead and promote that channel in the chat if you'd like, so they can go ahead and take a look at that, because I would actually want the chat to go check out that that quick stream that you did with that creator. I'm just not familiar with that creator, but it was an excellent, very informative stream.
Stand on YouTube, and she is one of them. Just the sight of her just acting dumb is just so annoying to me.
I'm only dropping her link for fair use and all that chat.
Wait, what?
You don't even have to do that. But you know, I mean, I'm not.
I know, but we're talking about it.
Deets is just like, she wants to be so proper. You gotta love it. She's like, she's still like, we're all already of the mindset, and this is before the rest of YouTube really got the wind of it. Like, Deets was the first one to talk about this, because this was the day before. This was the morning, literally the morning before the day that that I was getting text messages from other creators who were getting wind of it, and I was just like, well, yeah, man, I knew about that since yesterday morning. You're just now finding out about it? And then Brian Enton gets a hold of it the next day. But Dietz was actually the first one to have this, to my knowledge, and talk about it. And as soon as I mean, she was live, I woke up and I heard what she was saying. And I was like, yeah, I'm jumping on that panel. This is fucked up. And so, you got to understand. So there's going to be some commentary here. This is the first time I'm seeing this clip, while I'm on that panel.
Because I said she's in shock, that means that what I'm taking her side. I mean, people are allowed to have reactions. I mean, I understand morally bankrupt. What?
Hear it first about what they're asking
about. That she seemed like she was in shock.
She's confused for a change, folks.
When they said she was dead, that means I'm morally bankrupt.
Hey, Allie. It's good to see you.
What's up, Gray Hughes? Gray Hughes investigates in the house.
I didn't even say, I think what she did was good, or she's a good person. I said no, it seemed like she was in shock. I'm guessing that's what you were talking about. I can't. You don't deserve to have that name. No. I feel like I remember you last time. You confused me because you would be mean and nice. And I'd be confused because of your name. Yeah, I guess, if it's like people want you to be, people look at things black and white. It's either all bad or all good. We are complex beings. People aren't all bad and all good.
Okay, let me make something abundantly clear there. I have to interject what she says here. Or interrupt what she says here. There's no gray area in what Zav did. I want to be abundantly clear about that. There's no gray area about it. That's the reason why everyone who knows about this collectively, with any sense of empathy whatsoever, is pissed off about it. Because there is no gray area. Like, you just don't do it. That's the conclusion everybody's come to, because everybody has explored every rationale possible for her doing what she did. Everyone has explored it. Everyone with an objective mind has sat here and explored her excuses, and it has even made possible excuses for her and explored those. People who were fair in their thoughts, fair in their opinions. And nope. Everybody's coming up empty. Everyone collectively has come to the conclusion that that is the shittiest thing that they've seen somebody do on YouTube yet. Pretty much. But regardless, it's just plain bad. No gray area at all. This is absolutely a black and white situation.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, shut up.
They're more complex than that.
know,
So
right?
there's all
Such an excuse
really
to-
bad, like her, she's gonna have some goodness in her too. It's just not black and white, like you're bad, you're good. It's not like the movies, okay? So you can look at somebody and be like, okay, I understand that maybe
Crime Online is now
not
picked up the
saying
story.
that,
Okay.
anybody that goes
Thank
through
you.
that is going to end up like that. Anybody that but you could understand somebody, and some people don't have their biology and their tools. Some people could have years of abuse and they don't repeat the cycle, and some people do repeat the cycle. Everybody's born different with different tools, environmental, biological. So everybody has different like different levels of how much they could take and how much that.
Okay, I'm going to pause for a second for commentary. Is that too fast for you all? And then also, Terry, I can't find it. I've scrolled way up. I don't know if you'd mind repeating or reposting that one more time. But if it's too fast, let me know.
I can understand her fine.
Yeah, I can, but I know and some people aren't able to. So right now, she's just really confused. I just wanted to start at the beginning, and she's about to go into all of her reasonings.
Can I just say one thing? Yes, that's what I was going to say. You took my line, Ho. She's always confused.
Boomer Baby, that's what she really reminded me of here. Not gonna lie. Okay.
I don't even know how to explain it, but if you really think that black and white, then yes, please change your name, because that name means way more than what you're giving it. You're confusing people. Anyway.
Now, for those of you just joining us, this is Zav Girl, because there's a question of whether or not it's prior to did she advertise? There's a question of whether or not she advertised the release of the photographs in her Patreon prior to doing so. And this is her doing so. But it's more her making excuses about it, actually.
Same reasoning, though. Same reasoning. So, what do you mean come to the hive? I'm right here. Why do you guys keep saying I'm right here? You say come to the hive?
She knows exactly what the fuck she's talking about. Hold on. Grandmaster Sid Sophos, thank you. Apologies for being late, Glare. I was stuck in the 1980s advert commercials with Elaine McKenzie. No worries. I'm here now. Glad you're here, buddy. Stacy Simmons, thank you so much. Landon just recently addressed it on her Facebook. It's too long to copy paste, but it's good, and I love her strength. I will go look at that right after this. Thank you.
I don't even know what that means, but I'm in the chat. I'm right here.
She knows what that means.
She knows exactly what that
Same
means.
reason that they put it in the trial is to understand the whole freaking case. I did it privately. There's no explanation. It's the same reason that they played it in the trial is to understand the whole freaking case.
I'm leaving this highlighted so that I don't forget about it.
I did it privately. People that privately have a mind like mine that want to know the whole thing. Like, I don't know if
can
you
I
understand.
can I
We're looking at it
interject
with,
here
like,
for just
an
a second?
emotional way.
Yep, I'm gonna slow her down while she's doing it to 1.2.
Yeah, and that's not a big shocker either. Of me having 1,000 thoughts run through my head and being like, "Yo, can you stop this for a second? Because I got some shit to say."
Yeah, go ahead.
So here she is saying we want to understand the case. Here's the thing: is the trial was streamed. Everyone went over this trial. This trial was very public. There's no better way to understand a case than when you have a prosecutor presenting a case trying to get justice for this child. So all of the facts of the case that are relevant were presented in this trial. Everything that we need to know about this case already happened. There's nothing new that's going to be made available that's going to be some sort of revelation. It's just that could happen when
he went over these in great detail. I remember that from the trial. He, discussed everything about what the jury was seeing and why they were seeing it, how it happened, and all that. So that's already been discussed.
Right.
Can I say one thing? I just want to say, how would Zav Girl feel if, let's say, one of her relatives were brutally murdered, and then one of the YouTubers just basically did a FOIA request and put the photos of their deceased corpse in the back of a paywall for $3, and then said, "Oh, guys, we just want to learn how this person. You just want to learn, guys." How would she feel?
She doesn't have any.
She said it was a weak argument.
Oh, that's a weak argument? Okay.
Yes, that's what she
okay.
said.
I think that shows one thing she's lacking.
bro.
Sympathy.
Yeah, that's what we're trying
kindness.
to listen and hear what all she said here, because we want to use her words, right? We want to hear her words and her side of it.
That's Dietz's way of telling us all to shut the fuck up.
Okay, well, now it's precedence. Okay.
She did. It. She gave Jerry. I checked my goddamn DMs. Get off my back, woman. I'll get to that. Thank you.
You all consent. Just saying.
Okay, let's see a little more.
Look at like a science, and I want to know when I study a case, I like to know every single detail. And I knew there was people that are like me, and it has nothing to do with like a gross thing, because that's gross that you're thinking of it like that, because it's not. It's to learn.
Yeah, you see what she
did? Gaslight.
You see what she just fucking did there?
That's gross that you're thinking of it. That are like me, and it has nothing to do with like a gross thing, because that's gross that you're thinking of it like that, because it's not. It's to learn. It's to learn. And that's
gaslighting, projecting asshole.
And I stand by that statement. What a gaslighting, projecting asshole. Like, you see what she just did right there, right? She just went and said, it's gross that you're looking at it like that. No. See, what she's not understanding is we're not looking at it like Gannon's remains are gross. That's not the way that anybody's looking at it. we think what she's doing by showing them is fucking gross. We think that she's a gross asshole for doing it. It's not anything to do with Gannon and his remains. It has to do with the fact that you have no respect for Gannon and his remains that we find gross.
Doctors could go through it. It's not a gross thing. It's something to learn a case. Okay. I love science. I need to know every little detail if I can. And I was able to.
Okay. You need to know every little detail if you can. And you were able to because you got, you put in the FOIA, you sent in the money, you got the items back. Why did you have to put it behind a paywall and share it with everyone about this little boy?
And where's
welcome, R. Pierce 2032. Appreciate that. Welcome. Yeah, she's completely full of shit.
Where's the scientific explanation? Why didn't she contact somebody? I mean, she could have contacted that girl or somebody who at least had some sort of education in that field.
You can't contact me, girl. You're gross. My thing is if that's really what it was for, then why wouldn't we just say, email me at this special email address and I will respond to you with a link? If that's what it was for, and that's the only thing for, there was no reason for it to go behind a paywall ever.
That's what I'm saying. It never needed to go behind a paywall for other people to give you money for and then distribute it if they want to, or for you to put it in a Dropbox with a link that is not password protected. This is completely different than what she's saying.
I don't watch Zap Girl too much, but does she actually explain anything like scientifically or anything like that? Or does she just say, I'm confused, guys? What do you guys think? Like, how the hell are you going to explain anything?
She matched certain parts of pictures up to,
I know,
like
Cherry,
she
thank
showed
you.
where in the report it proved that was a projectile you were looking at. But no, she can't present anything scientifically. She is not a scientist, sir.
Okay, so I put the link to this thing that I'm streaming right now. I put the link in that of that in chat. So if you guys could just take a second and just mosey on over there, just click on it and give this video that I'm streaming a like. That would be really, really appreciated. And give it a watch if you want. Again, this is the first. I'm 99% sure that this is the first time that there was a stream or anybody talking about it on YouTube. Dietz is quick like that. So yeah, just please here, I'll drop it one more time because I know the chat's going pretty fast. So just click on that for me and give it a like just for a second. I'd really appreciate it.
She's not a trained professional. She doesn't know what she's doing to be able to
at least reach out to them. And I mean, in any lawyer chat where science.
I don't want to hear us talking. I want to hear that girl.
I bought the files. I was able to have every.
Completely. A lot of people are lacking it.
I bought the files. I was able to have every detail. It's not about being gross. It's about learning about a freaking case. And I knew if I had that kind of mind, there's going to be other people that are like me that like to know every single detail. And you did. We learned a lot. There was a lot of people. Well, it was a private viewing.
Well, what else are you going to learn?
Wait.
Not that many people.
She said it was a private viewing. No, it's not a private viewing. You've made it public.
About learning about a freaking case. And I knew if I had that kind of mind, there's going to be other people that are like me that like to know every single detail. And you did. We learned a lot. There was a lot of people. Well, it was a private viewing. It was a private thing. Not that many people seen it. It was a private, a private thing that the people that wanted to see it, and they learned.
So Dietz
like me on Reddit. Learn about the crime because we don't.
Dietz, I think she also had a private viewing. Maybe she did like a whole fucking thing, bro.
Did
my
she
God.
have like a let's go over this?
Well, it kind of reminds me of like reminds me a little bit of like
There's a comment section, you guys. There's a comment section on the actual video, and then like in the Dropbox, I saw comments, and then also in the Patreon, there's a comment section.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of like someone collecting a fee to like just see something horrible, kind of something like that. Just
It was like Faces of Death times 20.
Yeah.
Well,
Your mentality, like I
speak kind words. I'm a bit moreover.
There's still a mystery what happened, and we wanted to know. Like I learned about what happened. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, no. So the fact that you guys are viewing it as gross, that just shows you like that your mentality of looking at it like that. We're not looking at it like a gross thing. We're looking at it to learn. So you could you could judge me however you want, but to me it's science, and I learned a little bit about a case that I was invested in. So
well, we're not saying the autopsy is gross. We're saying
you
wanting to show it is gross.
We looked at it like adults. Okay.
Sorry, what'd you say?
I was saying she's painting the picture like we're saying that the autopsy photos are gross. That's not what's being said. What's being said, deflecting for education here.
I already made that
if
point.
It's showing
any
I don't
I said it not like little invested.
Say reasonings. This is excuses. It's not reasoning.
Totally.
Right.
A case that I was invested in. So, and so did others because we're mature adults, you know. And so we looked at it not like little kids.
Are we though?
We looked at it like adults. Okay?
Are we adults here in Zav?
You asked me. I was going to ignore it, Sunshine Daydream. Did you not ask to explain? People are asking explain. If I didn't answer, you'll be like, oh, you're not answering. I have an answer. Yeah, because that's my answer. Would you not want an answer? Of course I have an answer. You asked me why I did it. I answered you. So shut up, dude. You guys are the immature. No, I'm not. No, this is you guys. That is so
see. This is
so. Here she is being told. Her chat is telling her that what she's doing is what she's about to do is fucked up. Don't do it. Please don't do it. And she is hell-bent on doing it. Not like, you know what? I'll consider it. You know, maybe I didn't think it through. And let me put a hold on that for a second because I didn't really think of it like that. But no, instead it's you guys are the ones that are fucked up. Now, mind you, who she's addressing are the people in the chat, but the people in the chat are just saying the same things that the entire community at this point, the entire country at this point is now saying. So what she's saying here is not only that the person in the chat that she's addressing is fucked up and is gross. She's saying all of you are. Because all they're doing is trying to reason with her and let her know that what she's doing is not okay. I don't think that she's taken anything down yet, Gray. I think she temporarily took down I don't know how she did that though, but she temporarily took down a post in their community and then it's back up and it has the same amount of comments. So, I mean, I thought that you could only delete them. I didn't think that you could hide them. I know you can hide videos, but I didn't know you could hide comment sections or community posts. Sorry.
This is her realizing what
a childish
yeah.
to look at. Like,
But I don't think, Gray, I don't think that she's deleted anything yet. Officially. I think she's and now real quick, this live is going a little bit longer than I expected to. So I guess we're going to be here for a while. What I'm going to do somehow, some way, and hopefully I can get Cherry to do something productive for once and get me the link to watch the News Nation interview live with Al. I'm smiling because I'm in a lot of trouble for making that joke right there. Oh man, I'm in trouble. Oh my god. So the post is gone. Which post?
Ew, oh my god, don't show them. I did it privately for people that wanted to learn more about the case because, like, ew, oh my god, don't show them. I did it privately for people that wanted to learn more about the case because we are adults. And I love science. It's because we are adults. Privately for people that wanted to learn, don't show them. Ew, oh my god, don't show them. I like, ew, oh my god, don't show them. I did it privately for people that wanted to learn more. Don't show them. Yeah, like, ew, oh my god, don't show them. I did it too, oh my god, don't show them. I did it privately for people that wanted to learn more about the case because we are adults. And I love science.
I love science.
It helped me learn about the case. And my mind
How
is
did this
very,
help her learn?
I like to
I
know
love
every single
science.
detail. I like to visualize everything. Like I'm very, I don't even know what the word is, but there's a lot of people out there that study true crime. That everything
Stupid.
talk about it. We like to know every
Opportunistic.
little thing. So anything that we could possibly learn about a case that we invest so many hours into.
You suck.
She
And
sure
it's
did.
about
Minnie.
learning. It's not about grossness or whatever you guys are weird way of thinking is. Sorry. No.
It's our fault for thinking this.
No, we're saying you're gross.
The people came in my Patreon privately. So, you know, they did it at the trial. Why don't you go yell at anybody that offered the WebEx? It was all at the trial. I mean,
It what?
Yo.
No.
Tomatoes in the chat. So here she is. This is really funny too. Tomatoes in the chat for Zav Girl real quick. Zav Ghoul, you suck. You suck.
What was described, and I have the link. I haven't clicked on it to watch it or anything yet, but just what Queen Bee and that girl described, that is not what was shown at the trial.
No, they're two different things. It's a legal case.
Trial.
The reason they showed it was so
would
that
not
the
go
coroner-
down like this just did. That's not what happened in the trial, ma'am. You're wrong, Zab.
The purpose was to illustrate what the coroner was testifying to. That was the only reason they were shown.
That's because the jury needed to convict this monster, not because
Exactly.
is stabbed, and they didn't put it on the screen for everybody to see for a damn reason.
Not for our morbid curiosity.
Right.
It's truly for a purpose during the trial. That's a completely different ball game. It's not a sound comparison at all. It's horrible. Sarah's, I'm judging.
You don't get this mad. Like, you see how she gets really mad and get offended like this without like realizing that maybe those people have a point.
Yep.
B team's making a point. Good point.
She's just getting defensive because she knows that there's merit for her being attacked right now.
Twat.
learn anything because we're adults. They didn't block it out at the trial. Just some people, the creators that streamed it, blocked it out. But some people showed it. Some people played the whole thing. It's up to however people want to do it. Like, I don't blame the people that wanted to block it out that were streaming to the public, but I don't judge the people that didn't block it out. But do you
see what she's talking about? Like, she's trying to like throw in the face of the creators who streamed the trial and didn't block out the photos on the screen. There's a big difference. There's a big difference between what she did and what those creators did. Okay, those creators showing the trial and not blurring it out or not blocking it out in any way. The difference is they had a medical examiner up there explaining it. And yes, it is natural to be curious at the when the time is appropriate. It's natural to be curious. It's not for me. I had no interest in seeing the bodies, but I'm not going to judge someone for being so into true crime that they wanted to actually get the medical examiner's explanation and know what you're looking at. They could separate their emotions from everything else. I can understand that, and I'm not judging anybody who did that, because that was the one appropriate time that it was okay to look at that stuff. Because it was under the educational setting that she's claiming that she set it under. And there is no more of an educational setting than the actual trial where the medical examiner was testifying for the prosecution in order to absolutely convict Letitia beyond a reasonable doubt. Lindsay G, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. If this chaos continues and Gannon's family are continually reminded of the horrific details of the way he died, how can they honor and cherish their beautiful memories with him or be allowed actually grieve their tragic loss? Heartbreaking. I agree with you. I absolutely agree with you. And thank you so much. That's too generous.
Did they block it out of the trial? No, that was shown. It's just some of the people streaming it put out blocks, but they showed.
So she's even acknowledging the fact that people streaming it put out blocks, but she's sitting there faulting the court. Well, they showed it. You know why they showed it? Because there was a fucking jury in the room. It was necessary for them to see it. You think that jury wanted to look at those fucking pictures? But the jury was the only reason those pictures were being shown. Literally the only reason. Because there was a jury there that had to decide Letitia Stauch's fate. That's it. And you're going to sit up here and act like there's something wrong with it being shown in a courtroom during a trial to convict the monster responsible for the very corpse that you think is no big deal to put on display and charge a head fee for? Wow.
Showed it at the trial because we were an adult and it's a part of the case. So go yell at all the people that.
How about you ask yourself, why did the creators block it out?
Are they close? Yeah, thanks.
That's a
It
very valid question.
It wasn't blocked out in court because it was necessary to prove the prosecution's case.
SP, that is so.
I keep validating myself in this video. All right, we're gonna move. You guys got the idea now of what her attitude was before she even dropped the video. She sat there and justified it in her mind over and over and over again and insulted anybody who tried, and she gaslit, projected, and insulted anybody who tried to warn her why it was a bad idea. She had fair warning. She had more than an opportunity to mull it over and come to a conclusion that it would be a bad idea. Lex Lux, thank you so much. Claire, thanks for always giving a balance on YouTube True Crime. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Gray says, it's strange that she feels like she has some sort of moral ground or ideology to stand on, and there is none. It's wild. She doesn't get it right. It's pretty fascinating, isn't it, Gray? See, I think that Gray and I, the one thing that we really have in common, because I mean, we're on different levels. I'm not trying to compare myself to Gray as a creator, but I think that what drives Gray is the fascination with some human beings. You know, like I get that Zav girl feeling when I see people do certain things, and I'm just kind of like, wow. You know, it's like watching Animal Kingdom. Watching this community sometimes is like watching Animal Kingdom to me. It's like going Wow. Crazy. I just watched, some of you may get this reference and I don't care. It's worth it to me to make this reference knowing that most of you won't know it. But there was this TV show called News Radio, and it's, to me, probably the second best sitcom like ever, next to Seinfeld. News Radio was amazing when it had Phil Hartman before he died. But there was an episode where James Caan, the actor, guest starred, and he was playing himself, and he was supposed to shadow Phil Hartman because he was going to be playing a radio DJ a news radio announcer in an upcoming movie. He was doing research, and but instead there was Matthew, and if you know Matthew, who's played by Andy Dick, he was just a klutz and did the most things, the things that made the least sense that you could think of anybody doing, which was what made his character really funny. And if you're familiar with that episode, like, that's how I see myself when I look at Bullhorn Betty, or I look at Molly Golightly, or I look at JLR, or I look at Zav Girl, and I'm just kind of like, wow. like what are you gonna do next? Like, you're sitting there watching, it's like sitting there watching a little kid eat bubble gum off of the concrete sidewalk. You're just gonna, I'm not the kid's parent, so I'm not gonna stop him, you know what I mean? But I'm gonna be like, wow, man, he's really going to town on that chewing gum, man. He got a big chunk of it now. Look at that shit. Is he going to go for the whole piece? Is he? That's how I look at these people. That's how I look at these people. I can't, that's why I can find humor in it, because it's not my kid. Like, the kid eating chewing gum off the fucking sidewalk is funny. You know what I mean? It's funny if it's not your kid.
So funny. I am the least. Where do you ever see me asking? One time I had to because I wanted to make it private. So the only time you'll ever see me freaking pushing anything that has to do with cash. You know how hard that is for me to even say Patreon, when these creators, every video will say, join my Patreon. When do you ever see me doing that? The only reason I did that is because I knew there was people that wanted to see it like me. So there was no other way to do it, is to do it a private.
No, it's because you don't ever put shit on your Patreon. And the one time that you're putting something on your Patreon, you're blowing it up. So your argument isn't valid. Just because you don't go join my Patreon, join my Patreon, join my Patreon, doesn't mean shit. I don't sit here and shill my Patreon because I haven't done anything in a long time. I used to do this thing on Patreon. Like, you could tell, like, there's clearly a Patreon ethical spectrum, right? Where Zav Girl's on one end and, posting, uncensored pics of a child's corpse. And on my end of that spectrum, which is way, way down there, I'm getting hammered drunk and going over old true crime cases. And so the inspiration was drunk history. So I was doing drunk true crime, and I would get hammered drunk on scotch and sit there and like read about Albert Fish. But the problem is it fucking backfired, because I would be reading about the most horrible, disgusting shit, and the scotch would depress me, and I'd just be like, I can't. Like, if you know about Albert Fish, that was the one that really, like, I think I did one or two after that, but I was like, Albert Fish just fucked me all up. I couldn't do it. That and the Toy Box Killer, like, the dude who had that recording for his victims and started off going, "Hello, bitch," and then he would be like, "You're a prisoner in my home," blah 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 blah. Bad stuff, man. It just wasn't fun. There were one or two that were kind of fun, like going over the OJ trial. That was fun, That was fun because it was more about the trial than it was about the actual victims and what they suffered. You know what I mean? But I stopped doing it, and now I haven't found anything worthy of Patreon material, so that's why I just haven't done it. If I think of a cool Patreon gimmick, then I'll shill my Patreon again. But until then, I don't have anything to offer you, you know, except for access to the Discord, which you get as a member. So, you know, I just don't push that stuff. But it's the same thing with her. Like, she doesn't have anything to offer, and then she figured, oh, I'm going to get this really controversial thing and I'm going to charge money for it. This is, what do I do for my Patreon? Oh, well, I can find Gannon's autopsy photos and I'll put those behind my paywall and I'll have an excuse to shill my Patreon. That's what she was thinking, and she was thinking of nothing else. I mean, it's just abundantly clear. Yeah, I know about the clown, dude. Gray hates that. I'm not gonna lie, Gray. I find your hatred for that dude like super comical. But it's because I don't know as much about him as you do. But I know the feeling. I know the feeling where I'm just looking at somebody who's like, dude, what the fuck? But Gray's like, dude, there's a fucking clown. There's a guy in full-on clown makeup talking about true crime. Crazy.
Favorite way, so I did it on my Patreon. Well,
now, I don't know if that's true or not. Maybe she doesn't push her Patreon a whole lot like a bunch of creators. I have no clue.
Enough of that. Hold on. No, not that. All right. Okay. This is a post from Landon on her Facebook. And I'm going to make it smaller here just because. She says, Gannon is my child and is not an experiment nor a piece of paper or photo. He is a child. I pray that all that is involved in this heinous act will stop and no longer do this to anyone else. Now, before I continue, remember, this is Landon Gannon's mother, and this is the statement that she just put out about an hour ago. I'm going to start it over, okay? Gannon is my child and is not an experiment nor a piece of paper or photo. He is a child. I pray that all that is involved in this heinous act will stop and no longer do this to anyone else. I will not give you any satisfaction. No one deserves this, and no one wants to be in these shoes. You may say that if it happened to you, you may not change your actions. I do not wish this on anyone. I'm sure you would rethink your actions if this was indeed you or your child. The good that I take from this is that good people still exist. And in a matter of seconds, Gannon's army came together. That's you guys. I surely hope Gannon taught you all a lesson. He is the one who deserves an apology. My son, Gannon. So, as expected, folks, as expected, Landon's not interested. Landon is not interested because Landon's not a fucking idiot, and she can see the type of person who she is. I'm sure she looked into her. Any mother would. And she could see the nature of this person, the audacity of this person, the lack of empathy for this person, and the lack of any accountability of this person. So Landon, being an intelligent woman, knows that what she's going to end up getting if she indulges her is some idiot spewing out excuses at her. Landon doesn't need that. Nobody does. Nobody wants to hear that. Landon, no, there's nothing logical behind Landon entertaining the inevitable, which is some nitwit without any sense of empathy or any sense of accountability whatsoever spewing out excuses at her. She doesn't need it. She doesn't want it. She doesn't care. And I don't blame her. And I say go Landon for posting that. Now, there's another post here. I don't know if I can. Hold on. Let me see if I can. No, I can't do it. So surprise, surprise. Let me do this real quick. Sorry, guys. Give me 1 second here. All right. Now, real quick, let's get an update on Zav Girl's numbers. Let's take a look at that. That should be fun. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Okay. And somebody gifted 10 memberships. Let me go check that out. I think. Let me see. I don't know who she gets. Stella Bella gifted 10 memberships, but I missed it because I didn't have my screen up. Stella Bella 310. Thank you so much for gifting those 10 memberships, and congrats to everybody who got memberships. Right on. So let's take a look at her her stats, yo. Oof. Oof. Wow. So since this little scandal has taken place, she went from 92.6 thousand subs to 89.5. Just today alone, she has lost 1.5 thousand subscribers. Just today. Oh, it doesn't matter. I already went over it. It's out there. Anybody can view it on this in my community. They can view it. It was very futile to delete that. I mean, unless you're looking to get rid of the comments, but I mean, her I've never seen anything like this in my almost 5 years on YouTube. I have never seen anything like this. This is incredible. Fascinating. And big shocker, surprise, surprise, but who chimes in? Who chimes in on this issue? And who chimes in exactly as expected? Saying exactly what's to be expected. The person who spent the Gannon Stout case blaming Al, spreading lies about Al, spreading lies about Landon, someone who is just overall officially now neck and neck with Zavgirl as far as shit goes, because this is the worst thing that what Zavgirl did is the worst thing that I've seen so far, right? But Critical K has done so much shit that makes up for what Zavgirl did here and the other shit that she's done on YouTube since the Kylie Rodney case, since the Watts case. So sure enough, canceled Karen here, as I like to call her, otherwise known as a Critical K, says, it's one thing I've learned about the true crime community. They love to express their righteous indignation and outrage, but secretly sit in the audience and enjoy every second of the circus. Let me correct you here, but I love the response here. She could be sued just like you, Kay. Maybe you can give her advice on what not to do when sued by a victim's family. Here's the thing about that. Let's talk about what canceled Karen says here. Our what does she call it? A righteous what? Righteous indignation. Our righteous indignation, right? But while secretly, she said, secretly enjoying the circus. We earned the right to enjoy this circus. See, this is our way of coping. Nobody's denying that. I'm not denying that. I don't enjoy the fact that this happened to Gannon, and I don't enjoy the fact that it happened to Landon, but we are damn sure, because we are all pissed off about it. So we are all going to damn sure get ours out of it as far as dealing with our emotions about it. And we're going to do that in a productive, expressive way. That's what we're doing here. That is all we're doing here. We are discussing this situation, and we are making it extremely public because it is a circus. But this is a justified circus, because this circus needs to happen. When things like this happen to victims and their families, circuses need to happen. You better fucking believe that we're enjoying the fact that Brian Etten got a hold of this. You better fucking believe that we're enjoying the fact that this reached outside of our little true crime community on YouTube bubble and is now getting the attention of people with larger platforms, making people more aware of a serious problem. A problem that you, canceled Karen, have been an intricate part of. So, yeah, you better believe we're fucking enjoying it. Mara BMW sequel admin. Do you see her tweet to me that you were tagged in? I laughed at her hypocrisy and ignored it. Crazy. No, I did not see that. Send it to me. Send me a screenshot. I'd love to see it. I'm just waiting. I still don't have like a link to watch this thing live. I may have to do like a Sling thing. I guess I am gonna have to try. How much is that shit? Wow. Do I have to upgrade to like the highest one to get News Nation? Oh, I can view all 31 channels. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna sign up for Sling real quick, guys, so we can watch this this interview with Al on News Nation. I don't think it gets News Nation. I don't think Sling gets News Nation. Because I'm looking and I don't see it. Nope, News Nation is not a thing on Sling. Is there add-on services? I could 35 more. It's wow, there's a channel called Docs. Nice. I don't think you can get News Nation on Sling, man. Nope. Okay, now what? Oh, hold on. Hold on. All right. No, I don't want the Spanish plan. God damn, $80 a month? Yo, that's crazy. I'm not paying that shit. I don't give a fuck about no YouTube TV. That much. I just want to watch this one thing. I don't even see News Nation as being one of the channels here. Yeah, man. Yeah, I am not signing up for. You got me fucked up. That's not gonna happen. That shit is not gonna happen. All right, unless you've got. Yeah, but News Nation doesn't even come up as one of the channels. And I tried Hulu too. I have Hulu. Hold on. Oh, yeah, I don't care about that. What? Hold on. Why am I not logged in? Yeah, there we go. Oh my God. What? I don't remember my Hulu password. I don't know why I'm logged out of Hulu on here, but I don't remember my Hulu login, so that's really annoying. All right. Yeah, I don't know how I'm going to watch this, guys, except on my TV, which I don't have down here. So
America is discovering News Nation.
Let's get after it.
Now.
It's not on YouTube. I don't see anything that there's a notification for it or anything like that. And I'm not going to stream another creator streaming it. That's just fucked up. Maybe through the website. Well, it's saying that I can watch it through Sling, though. I try it anyway. I'm just going to go for Sling because their website says you can watch it through Sling. So I'm going to try it anyway. But I don't want to. All right, fuck it. Fuck. Hold on. Just another second, guys. Let me do something here. All right. Here we go. We should be good, folks. Search. News Nation. What? Are you fucking kidding me? Is this supposed to be funny? Oh my God. Did I just pay for this shit and I can't use it even though their website said I could? They have HLN. This is incredibly annoying. They have a fucking Baywatch channel. Like, what? I mean, here, well, like, this is what I'm going through here. Like, I just got Sling TV. I just paid for it. And so I'm not seeing anything That says News Nation so far. See Crime Justice, Crime Hunters, Total Crime, True Crime, Unsolved Mysteries. What? Alf? The Alf channel? What? And what's the guy's name? Dan Bloomberg or whatever? Dude. These channels are endless, bro. There's so much bullshit on TV these days. I have no... And I tried searching for it and it didn't come up. Let's try news. Let's just go straight to news. Narrow it down. I should have done that before, but I didn't see the option. Give me a break. I just downloaded this app. Oh my God, look at all these news stations. Dude, there's fucking like all these stations from different countries. Am I missing something here? I feel like Zavgirl right now. Just like, what's going on? Dan Abrams. Let me try to search that. See, look. Nope. Nothing. I just fucking wasted money on fucking Sling. Their website straight up said you could watch the shit on Sling, and it's not happening. The chat is helping me with what? I couldn't see the chat. No, the News Nation website does not have a live feed. How to watch News Nation. Here, blah, 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 blah. Nexstar. How do I watch News Nation? How do I watch News Nation on streaming platforms? YouTube TV, Hulu. I can't log into my Hulu. And look, Sling right there. Dude, I just fucking... All right. WGN. No. God, this is such bullshit. Okay. I mean, yeah, WGN does nothing for me here. I can't log into Xfinity. So no, I'm reading some of the comments. You guys are giving me all kinds of different options, but that they're not options. So there's no, I'm not seeing any. And I don't know how Duty Ron did it yesterday, but he did it yesterday. And it's probably over by now. So, because it's already 11 minutes past. So, yeah, I think we're just going to have to wait. because it's not even. We're just gonna have to wait for it to upload on YouTube. Because there's no way to watch it. I can't. I'm telling you. Thanks, Grandmaster Sid Sophos. I'm about to cancel this shit. I want a refund for this bullshit because I don't need it. I got it specifically for this. At least this is an alphabetical order right here. Does News Nation come up and I'm just missing it? Nope. There is no News Nation on Sling. And I paid for the most expensive one. I paid for the most expensive one that had all the channels. I'm not going to cancel it now on a live stream. You sent me the link. Where did you send me the link? Yes, Sling TV is a bust. No, I don't want your fucking offers. I'm pissed that I can't just watch something. It doesn't give me the option to watch. I love that people are telling me it's on News Nation. I know it's on News Nation. I can't stream News Nation live. There's nothing that I can do about it. Oh my God. Are you people kidding me right now? Yeah, I don't have an Xfinity account. No. Yeah. If there was a way to watch this, Cherry would have found it a long time ago. But and someone else even sent me a saying to look on yeah, I could watch it on Xfinity upstairs in my bedroom. But I don't have a login for it. I was just in the News Nation website on YouTube, and it is not on there. There is no live feed on News Nation. Look for yourselves. Well, I don't want the edited video. That's what's pissing me off. is I don't want the edited video. I want to be able to watch it. The entire thing, unedited. So, I mean, here's what they have that was live, and the only thing they have is what happened last night. I don't even see that now. So, oh, YouTube TV. No, yeah, YouTube TV is one thing, but they wanted fucking like $80 to sign up for YouTube TV. You think I'm paying $80 for YouTube TV? No. I don't know what you rich people are doing, man. That must be nice to be able to look at, oh, YouTube. I'll pay $80 for that shit a month. They still charge you. Yeah, I know. I know. That's Google Play. No, not doing that either. No, I'm just gonna have to wait. That's all I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna wait till it's put up on YouTube. That's the only thing I can do. No, there's no point at this point. If I download the app and go through all the rigmarole right now, by the time I get it up, it's over and it's done. Shut up, Cherry. Don't do it. So it's all right. Let's see. All right, so I've got the app open. When was this put up? Yeah, this is old. I can't find anything that's live right now. So I don't know how you're watching it on the app because I've got the app pulled up. There's no option to watch anything live. Who's Lauren? News Nation Live. But no, nothing. All right. Yep, it's not happening. Okay. In the meantime, like I'm gonna keep refreshing and see if they post it, because they're gonna have to edit it down and everything. That's gonna take forever. So what I'm gonna do in the meantime, let's watch real quick there's a video that Cheesy Weezy did that is fascinating. So real quick, I'm going to drop Cheesy Weezy's link in the chat. Cheesy Weezy's a clip channel. Blessed are the clip channels, people. Make sure to subscribe to Cheesy Weezy. I'm going to go ahead and play this video real quick.
What from this? Okay, well let's talk about that. Let's talk about that wine, right? You're coming in here acting like, what did they say on Brian Enton? What did they say on Brian Enton?
So
they said exactly the way I said.
So this is Strangler Betty's response to what happened last night on Brian Enton, which is really, really funny.
Except they said it differently, right? It's lawful. There's nothing that they can do.
Okay, that's not what they said.
Except for public opinion. Watch it or
that's not what they said. That's not what they said. But
don't watch it. Go and attack her. Don't attack her. She didn't lose her channel. So everything that I expressed here yesterday is exactly what was just expressed on the Brian Enton show, except it was packed with a lot of emotion, which I don't do. I'm a very blunt person, so I just tell it like it is. So what came out in that segment that wasn't that we didn't discuss here on the show? It's lawful. It was acquired through public record. If you don't want to watch it, don't watch it.
they didn't say if you don't want to watch it, don't watch it.
Some people are totally offended by it. We acknowledge that. There are people out there that would like to preview it. Except people say things in a way that makes them likable, right? So Brian goes out there, and I feel like everybody was well represented in this, right? So Brian went out there on the emotional, talking about what people felt.
Let's do this real
and then
quick.
He brought the
let's do this real quick.
prosecutor on.
All right.
I'm
gonna play last night's. Okay, this is gonna be last night's, and I'm gonna stream duty Ron only because this is the quickest way that I could find it. But this is last night's interview with the prosecutor. So we'll watch that and we'll catch ourselves up with that, and then we'll double check and see what's going on with tonight's, and then. But in the meantime, we're gonna watch Betty's. We're gonna watch Betty absolutely try to backpedal without backpedaling. It's actually really funny.
YouTuber, is there anything that can be done now, Michael, that you can do or that the family can do to sort of get these off the internet, especially stop people from making money off of them?
Yeah, I mean, isn't that the most disgusting part of this too? That they're actually profiting off of somebody else's complete horror. I can't imagine what the family feels deep down inside over this whole thing. there's really not anything that can be done legally. I have suggested that the family reach out to a private attorney to see if there's anything they can do. As far as jurisdiction from my office or from the Colorado courts, I don't think that there's anything that they can do either, unfortunately. And maybe we need to look at changing the law as it relates to autopsy photos being released on the internet, that sort of thing. But
all right. J9 Wheels says, I just can't believe that Zav Girl wouldn't care. I'm so conflicted. Here's what here I can help you with your inner conflict for a moment. Let me try and help you with your inner conflict for a moment. Thank you so much, Lindsay. Think back real hard. Think back real hard where you were watching Zav Girl and she actually gave some sort of empathetic insight to any case that she was ever talking about. Do that. And I promise your conflict, your inner conflict, gone.
But, you know, we don't even know where these people live, these two YouTubers live, or where they're posting them from. So it really gets down to jurisdictional boundary lines and what potentially could be done based on where they live and how it's hitting in a particular area.
Yeah, and I'm a part of the true crime community. Like I said, I mean, like 99% of the people out there that follow these cases, I'm sure you realized it too, because the case that you were on was very, very popular online with people watching. They have good intentions. They like to analyze the testimony. They're very, very victim focused. So, you know, most are really good. But I just think that a lot of these YouTubers, the bad ones, don't realize it. Like,
see, I'm really grateful to Brian Enton for doing that. I'm really grateful to Brian Enton for pointing that out and saying that that most YouTubers are really focused on the victims, very fact driven and focused on the victims. And it's really great that he actually acknowledged that. Because it's real easy to just lump everyone up in the same category as just, you know, we're YouTubers, we're not professional journalists, and we all just suck. I don't know, just it's just another day, maybe. I'm guessing probably.
Like, these are real human lives. It's not just some like fun thing that, you know, you do online on the weekends on YouTube. Like, these people go home at night and have to deal with this.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about Gannon's parents, Al and Landon, they've had to live with the horror of what happened to Gannon for over 3 years from that January 2020 date when this all started. And this just keeps those wounds open. They know that Gannon's body is being paraded around essentially on the internet superhighway, and there's nothing they can do to stop it. And it's just grotesque. I can't imagine the low that somebody would have to go to want to put something like this out on the internet, when we're talking about an 11-year-old boy who suffered the most horrific injuries and was murdered in the worst possible way.
Yeah, it's awful. Well, the good news is Patreon, where she was charging, at least on that one account, has now taken the account down. I went and checked right before the show, and it like says suspended or something like that. So at least that's some good news. Michael, thank you for coming on. Please express to the family that, you know, we just feel terrible about this, and if there's anything we can do to help, let us know.
I absolutely will do. And again, thanks for bringing some attention to this. It's needed. And I can tell you for sure that the family appreciates the scorn that these people are having to live through now.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate you coming on. Okay, still ahead tonight.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Brian Enton, our good friend. Listen, kudos to him. A quick tap to Brian Enton for.
Now, I want to go back
on
because I didn't get to hear before he brought him on.
Or that he had
autopsy
I want to see the whole
location. Me last
man
for the wall, stepmother.
And Michael Cunt, thank you. I bet canceled Karen was bummed she didn't think
Ed,
it first.
And Mel at the bottom. Brian, listen
to contribute.
What he has to say. He's going to have the prosecutor on with him tonight. So sorry to cut you off, Ed.
People hurt victims' families, especially people with big platforms, to make money. It just really, really gets me. You may remember the story of Gannon Stoke, the Colorado 11-year-old was stabbed 18 times by his stepmother. He was hit in the head, he was shot, and then he was stuffed in a suitcase and left under a bridge in Florida. It was an awful, awful story. You see that little face there. Well, his stepmother, Letitia Stock, was convicted in May of killing the little boy. The judge said it was the most horrific case that he had ever seen in his entire career. Little Gannon's bedroom, just to give you an idea how bad this was, had blood all over the walls, a blood-soaked mattress, the carpet was soaked, even the concrete under the bed was blood-stained. So to say that this was a brutal killing would really just be an understatement. The trial got a lot of coverage, especially from true crime YouTubers. And I got to say, I know a lot of the podcasters out there. Most of them are really, really.
Look at who it is. You got the lawyer, you got you got, I mean, they're not on panel together. This is just a little collage they made. That's It's a Crime. That's Stephanie Harlow. And then that's our friend Annie Elise from 10 to Life.
Responsible.
And these are being held in the standard of YouTube creators that do it right. So that's why they're showing them, which I actually agree with. I think all of those YouTube creators right there are actually excellent.
They're good people. I'm friends with a bunch. I was just texting with a buddy a little while ago, a YouTuber. They're ethical, they're victim focused, but you know how it is. There are always bad apples in the group. Really, really bad apples who cross the line and exploit families, grieving families, to make money. I never even heard of this one YouTuber there, Zav Girl, until a bunch of you started messaging.
He's like, I don't even know who the fuck you are.
Last night, she calls her YouTube page a true crime channel and writes in the description, I feel it's really important to give victims of these tragic crimes a voice when they don't have one. And she has almost 100,000 subscribers. But for some reason, Zav Girl thought it would be a good idea to put in a Freedom of Information request for little.
See, and I love that News Nation is really focused on sharing Gannon's image as they talk about anything, just to fill the space with Gannon's image in order to counter, to do the best that they can to counter the damage that Zav Girl's caused.
11-year-old Gannon's autopsy photos, and they actually released the photos to her. She had to pay. They released the photos and she got them. And you can just imagine, based on the description of the way that little boy was killed, what those photos look like. Zav Girl then proceeded to post them on her Patreon account, which is an account.
KB Investigates, thank you so much. I really want to start my own channel, but on the fence about it because of all the drama. It's people like Zav that give other true crime community people a bad name. No, you're right. I mean, but you know what? I got to tell you, listen, best advice I could give you, KB Investigates, honestly, best advice I can give you, just be yourself. And if you really want to avoid drama, don't put yourself in positions to attract drama. And I'm not putting myself as that type of example because I talk about people head on. I name names, but a lot of the creators who purposely avoid naming names and doing anything like that, then they avoid the drama. Just stick to the facts. The results of your channel are going to be completely up to you. The type of audience that you attract is going to be completely up to you. I've always said that a creator's community is a reflection of that creator themselves. So if you really truly focus on being factual and putting out factual information, and the difference between a rumor and hearsay versus actual evidence, and you focused on the things that can be actually verified as proof, they're not just hearsay, then you'll do just fine. You'll do just fine. I promise you that. And I really hope that your channel flourishes. I really hope that you do start a channel and that you are one of the good guys.
Account attached to her YouTube page. and she charged her followers money to see the autopsy photos. For $3, you could see little Gannon.
Now, this is Duty Ron's channel that I'm streaming. Please subscribe to Duty Ron. At the very least, click on the link that I'm going to drop in chat and give that video a like. Please, please, please do that, because Duty Ron definitely deserves it. Duty Ron is awesome. So please, I know that he wouldn't mind me streaming this for the purposes that I'm streaming it right now. But more than anything, besides that point, I'm not going to stream Duty Ron's content without really encouraging you guys to take just a second and click on the link that I'm dropping in chat. Take a second and sub up to Duty Ron. Duty Ron is a retired New York City homicide detective. The people that he has on panel with him are usually former law enforcement with experience, and whatever the subject may be. Like if there's a case that he's talking about and blood spatter happens to be an issue, he'll have a blood spatter expert on. If DNA is an issue, then he'll have somebody he'll have a forensic analyst of DNA or whatever you would call that person on his panel to answer questions. Duty Ron is one of the most informative channels when it comes to the process of investigations. And if that's something that interests you, which is definitely something that interests me, sub up to Duty Ron.
Gannon's body. She was making money off of that little boy's autopsy photos. Autopsy photos of a severely beaten to death little boy. Really, they just got no place on the internet. It was hard enough for the jury to have to look at them. But for this YouTuber to go to all that trouble to request them, to pay the money, to get them from the government, and not only post them, but then to charge people to see them. I mean, I just find it sick. My question, has Zav Girl ever even been in a courtroom or interviewed a grieving family? That's my issue with some of these YouTubers that cause problems. They hide behind their computers. They don't even use their real names. Like in this case, we don't even know who Zav Girl really is. And if you're so proud of your page, I don't know why people don't just use their real name. And this isn't some video game or TV show you're playing on your.
Yeah, I talked about this last night, but and it's understandable why Brian Enton would not exactly understand why people in the true crime community would remain anonymous. It's a shit show, and people get doxxed and harassed all the time, and they go real life, and it's just a lot of people have families and jobs, and they don't want, shitheads on the internet to fuck with that stuff. So
on your computer, this is a real family's life. This morning, Zav Girl, she got a lot of heat for this. She posted a statement on her YouTube page about the controversy. It was deleted. It's back up now. I screen grabbed it. This is part of it. She wrote, "The reality of the situation is that different people feel."
Yeah, I don't care about Zav Girl's criminal background, much less her real name or anything about her real life. I don't care. I hope that she can peacefully go back to it and just leave crime cases the fuck alone, because she clearly doesn't care about victims. So I would prefer that she, I would prefer to maintain that, and actually help her make that transition back to her normal everyday life. And I hope it's as happy as it can possibly be. And I mean that. So, if there's justice to be had, that is simply up to Gannon's family. That is not our place to take justice into our hands. And we sure as shit don't encourage doxing or harassment of any kind on this channel. It will not be tolerated. So I just want to I want to warn you guys, those of you who are new to this channel, we don't do that shit here. It's not welcome at all whatsoever, and you will have no quarter here.
feel differently about this. Some people are genuinely think making a video including the autopsy photos is bad, and I respect their opinion and feelings. Other people like myself think of autopsy photos and the coroner disgusting, explaining, interesting, and informative, are all able to view it in a more scientific, detached way. Well, Zav Girl, there is nothing detached about posting the autopsy photos of an 11-year-old little boy, and then on top of it, which I really think pushes it over the line, charging money for people to see them. It is sick, it's deranged, and you should just own up to it. Whoever you are, wherever you live, maybe get out from behind your computer screen, go to the local courthouse, and actually sit through a murder trial and see what it's like for the families in real life.
I'm all blocking Duty Ron's image and shit, like it's my channel and shit, and I got Melanie and Ed Wallace here, and I'm just like, yeah, what do you think, Melanie?
Life, not on YouTube, not sitting behind your computer and thinking about clicks.
Yeah, we'll do that.
But actually go to the courthouse and see what these families actually have to deal with, and then think about how it might feel for them after having to see those photos in the courtroom, and then have to have them plastered all over the internet, and then be trying to charge people money to view them so you can get rich off of it. It's just awful. I want to bring in District Attorney Michael Allen, who served as the lead prosecutor on Little Gannon's case. Thank you for being with us, Michael. You were the lead prosecutor. You had to go through that whole trial. I can't even imagine, like, this just got me so mad thinking about Gannon's family. I know they're aware of this. I mean, how are they processing all of this?
Well, thanks for having me on to talk about this. First off, we reached out to the family members and had discussions with them about this, just letting them know that, one, it's happening and sort of what they can do potentially to combat this. But honestly, there's nothing they can do to get these photos down once they're on the internet. It's just completely disrespectful to the family members that have had to live through this horror. But even more so, Gannon deserves so much more in life from his stepmother, and he certainly deserves dignity and respect in death. And there's nothing about what this YouTuber is doing, and I think there's another one out there as well that they're doing that provides any dignity or respect to Gannon. And the statement that they put out about this incident.
Yeah, the other YouTuber he was talking about is the recliner fart mutant.
Sort of justifying it. It just rings hollow. Other ways to do this, scientifically, they could have used body diagrams that the autopsy also included, instead of putting the actual pictures of Gannon's just completely broken body that reflects the depravity and horror that he had to live through and die at the hands of his stepmother, that he had to suffer. It's outright disgusting, and it just speaks to the lowest of human forms, in my opinion.
And there was a live stream of the trial, correct? And these were specifically blocked from going out to the public. And the same thing, I covered the Lori Vallow trial. Those pictures were also blocked so that they couldn't get out. I just wonder, like, why were these released? I mean, apparently this YouTuber had to pay quite a bit of money to get the photos. Why even send them out?
Great question.
Yeah, so it's state by state how that sort of thing works. The autopsy was actually performed in Florida, and Florida law allows these sort of things to go out under a Freedom of Information Act request. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that these sort of sensitive photos have to be released. And you're right. When we were in trial, we actually put blocked part of the images out to hide some of the more sensitive parts of Gannon's body, and to really show the jury just the injuries, as opposed to sort of making us.
So you remember what Zav was saying as an excuse. See, it shows how close attention she was actually paying to the trial. Because yeah, I have gone over her sub count. It's bad, MJ. Zav Girl tried to say that this stuff wasn't blurred out in the trial, and this attorney Michael Allen just confirmed that it was, that they blurred out the sensitive parts, and only what was necessary for the jury to see is what they left revealed. So, I mean, Zav Girl, like,
you're lying, and you're a piece of shit.
Exactly, McGruber. Get her.
a spectacle of the whole situation, which we did not want to do. That's disrespectful to the family. And again, like I said, takes away the dignity that Gannon deserved in life and in death.
And you mentioned that there are others too. It's not just this one YouTuber. Is there anything that can be done now, Michael, that you can do or that the family can do to sort of get these off the internet, especially stop people from making money off of them?
Yeah, I mean, isn't that the most disgusting part of this
Yeah.
too? That they're actually profiting off of somebody else's complete horror. I can't imagine what the family feels deep down inside over this whole thing. There's really not anything that can be done legally. I have suggested that the family reach out to a private attorney to see if there's anything they can do. As far as jurisdiction from my office or from the Colorado courts, I don't think that there's anything that they can do either, unfortunately. And maybe we need to look at changing the law as it relates to autopsy photos being released on the internet, that sort of thing. But, you know, we don't even know where these people live, these two YouTubers live, or where they're posting them from. So it really gets down to jurisdictional boundary lines and what potentially could be done based on where they live and how it's hitting in a particular area.
Yeah, and I'm a part of the true crime community. Like I said, I mean, like 99% of the people out there that follow these cases, I'm sure you realized it too, because the case that you were on was very, very popular online with people watching. They have good intentions. They like to analyze the testimony. They're very, very victim focused.
See, I love that he referred to himself as a part of this community. I think that's very powerful. I think that's great.
So you know, most are really good. But I just think that a lot of these YouTubers, the bad ones, don't realize that like these are real human lives. It's not just some like fun thing that you do online on the weekends on YouTube. Like these people go home at night and have to deal with this.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about Gannon's parents, Al and Landon, they've had to live with the horror of what happened to Gannon for over 3 years from that January 2020 date when this all started. And this just keeps those wounds open. They know that Gannon's body is being paraded around essentially on the internet superhighway, and there's nothing they can do to stop it. And it's just grotesque. I can't imagine the low that somebody would have to go to want to put something like this out on the internet when we're talking about an 11-year-old boy who suffered the most horrific injuries and was murdered in the worst possible way.
Yeah, it's awful. Well, the good news is Patreon, where she was charging, at least on that one account, has now taken the account down. I went and checked right before the show, and it like says suspended or something like that. So at least that's some good news. Michael Allen, thank you for coming on. Please express to the family that we just feel terrible about this, and if there's anything we can do to help, let us know.
I absolutely will do. And again, thanks for bringing some attention to this. It's needed. And I can tell you for sure that the family appreciates the scorn that these people are having to live through now.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate you coming on. Okay, still ahead tonight.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Brian Enton, our good friend. Listen, kudos to him. I tip my cap to Brian Enton for coming on and using News Nation's platform to bring attention to this atrocious, horrific, despicable act.
Okay, still nothing on still nothing in regards to what took place today. So now we just saw what was said there, and now let's go back to Cheesy Weezy's video where Betty was just totally misquoting what was going on here. What we just watched.
Not really anything we can do. It's public record. It was done lawfully. I mean, there's, I understand the emotional part about it. I'm just, when it comes to this stuff, I look at stuff like this. I understand it's shocking to audience members, but you have to understand, for me as a creator, I look at this stuff all day long. So and I'm sure Brian Enton has had to look at some of this stuff.
Yeah. So according to Betty, let's hear that one more time.
I look at stuff like this. I understand it's shocking to audience members, But you have to understand, for me as a creator, I look at this stuff all day long. You know, so and I'm sure Brian Hinton has had talking to audience members, but you have to understand, for me as a creator, I look at this stuff all day long. You know,
So you look at dead bodies of minors all day long. Really? Really? I think she's lying, but it's so funny that she would say that she looks at dead bodies all day long, and think that somehow gives her some sort of credibility to her audience. Like, yeah, I look at this stuff all day long. I don't look at that shit all day long. I don't know any true crime creators that look at that shit all day long. Like, take Annie 10 to Life, for instance. She's somebody who I know for a fact works harder than, besides maybe Gray, but works harder than any other true crime creator that I've ever seen, because she puts out a video almost daily, and each video is at least a half hour long. Calamity Jade, thank you so much. I remember Kylie Rodney case. People said her toxicology would be put out there if her parents would allow it, and guess California has options. Let all states follow suit. Agreed. But that's the thing that makes America great. You know, we can't have all our laws be federal, or else we wouldn't be the United States of America. You know, each state gets to govern themselves. That's one of the things that makes this country great. So, you know, if you don't like the way a state law is, you could petition to change that law, or you can move to a state that has a law that you like in regards to the things that are important to you. YouTube might take her channel down. I don't know. But yeah, Annie does a video almost every day. On top of that, she holds a job. And on top of that, she has 2 small kids and a husband. And on top of that, she has one of the top true crime podcasts of all podcasts. Of all true crime ones anyway. One of the top true crime podcasts out there, and it's called Seriously. She's busy. But I promise you, with all of that, Annie's not sitting there looking at dead bodies all day. As a matter of fact, I would venture to say that she doesn't look at any unless she has to. So the fact that she's sitting here and trying to act like that makes her a busy true crime creator, it doesn't. You don't look at dead bodies all day, and saying so and lying about it just makes you seem like a fucking morbid weirdo.
So and I'm sure Brian Hinton has had to look at some of this stuff. But again, I feel like it was, I feel, you know, I understand the emotional part of it. I do get it. I get why people are outraged. I think it was kind of skewed a little bit in the reporting, because they didn't explain that this is the only way. They act like it's about money coming from News Nation and a person that probably makes, you know, 5 times more than Zab Girl. But either way, I understand the importance of it. But I think what they missed in that reporting is that if there is a group of people like myself that would like to discuss it or preview it, there's really no good way to do. You know, there's really not a whole lot, especially if you're trying to get a whole bunch of people. Now, granted, I understand it's an 11-year-old child, and trust me, it's not something, again, I haven't been put in that situation. I would think that my better judgment probably wouldn't have, you know, posted the images that she posted.
Her internet's acting up, y'all.
You know, put in options that, you know, maybe would have been more appropriate, like using the diagrams and things of that nature. So I get out. Like I said, I don't have a dog in the fight with this argument. Mine was, I know it was going to be an unpopular statement, but I stick to the law aspect of it. And the law is not emotional. And everything that she did was legal. Now, you know, it's up for the audience. It's up for the public. If they want to show outrage, to show that. And that's their right. So I think we discussed that fairly well on this show. And again, I never stuck up for Zab. I just spoke on what people.
Bullshit. You absolutely stuck up for Zab, but we're going to get to that.
We're going to tell you. And at the end of the day.
Again, people, this is Cheesy Wheezy. Blessed are the clip channels, y'all. So I don't have to sit there and sift through all of Betty's bullshit. Cheesy Wheezy did it for us.
Nothing she did in many eyes, maybe morally wrong, like I had stated, but she did nothing lawfully wrong. And I think that that was also stated in that. But I'm proud of it, right? He has a great connection with his audience. He's more emotional and stuff in some of these. And this really moved him. Like, he was very upset that she did this. And, his and everybody else's frustration or upset or anger over that is legit and violent. I never discredited those things, but my stance will be the same.
No, that's not what you said, but okay. We're going to get to that.
Again, it's your responsibility what you consume as an audience. So beat me up, run away. I really, it's again, I have no dog in the fight.
There's no acknowledgement that it's put out there on the internet and that anybody can get a hold of it and share it. There's no discussion of this in her rationale for everything that's going on.
No offense, but you are a stupid asshole.
I speak from a different perspective than Brian did. I feel like both sides. I think he well represented the people that are just, disgusted and just can't believe it. And, there's
what
a
the
medical
fuck are you
side
talking
and a
about?
science side and a, information side that is a little different than that emotional side. And I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry for that. I feel bad for what this family is going through. There's nothing, I didn't do it. You can go here all day long and try to beat me up. I didn't do it. So, I don't know how you want me to address it, but you're trying to turn something around like I did something. I didn't. I commented on it.
No, you defended her.
And talked to my audience about the legality of it. And that was confirmed by Brian. Enough said. So I understand there are people that are just absolutely disgusted with that. I get it. But again, people have the right to consume what they choose to consume. There's a lot of paid stuff that people pay for on the internet that absolutely is total immoral to me. Totally immoral to me. Disgusting to me, right? So, I am all about that hypocrisy thing too. Just saying. So, it is what it is. I mean, she has to pay for it publicly. If I did something like that, I would have to pay for it publicly. That's what like I said, that is the job of the audience. Again, being very upfront and truthful about the situation. Still don't have a dog in the fight, just to let the haters know. Still don't have a dog in the fight. So we are going to go to Idaho. So I'm going to...
So when it comes to Zabra, I know that many of my audience may or may not agree with
The voice change is just hilarious right there. So when it comes to Zab Girl, you ever see Mars Attacks? Do the Martians have both sexes like we do? That's totally what that reminded me of.
Okay? This is going to be one that I'm just going to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. The bottom line is this country, we used to be blocked out of everything. This country worked very, very hard because we are the taxpayers of this country. And all our employees, so our government is our employees, they are required to be transparent now. Once upon a time, they could shovel stuff under the rug. We were none the wiser. We had no access to find out what they were doing behind the scenes. Now, mind you, these are our employees, and we can't even find out what they're doing. So we, as the country, pushed along laws that forced our government to be beholden to us, the employers of them, right? The taxpayers. And part of that is public record, okay? You cannot, and when you have a trial is a public trial. That means all that information that is in that public trial is public and up for public consumption, period. It is our right as citizens to acquire those documents. They don't provide you those documents during the trial. The only time you can achieve or receive those documents is after trial when you do a public record request. This is open to anybody, not just media, not just movie stars, not just big pictures. This is open to all citizens of the United States. You have the ability to pull records in this country under the Freedom of Information Act. With that being said, I believe that Zav Girl did the appropriate thing by putting it behind a wall and not making it public for anybody and everybody to read. That would have been the appropriate procedure for discussing this. Does she have a right to discuss it? Absolutely. Is it public record? It absolutely is. Now, I realize that a lot of people, this is emotional for them. It's emotional to think that somebody is reviewing a case. We have that right to review those cases. And we have the right, if our audience so chooses to want to learn about those cases and see what we have about those cases, they have the right to learn about those cases. They have a right. Every single one of you have a right to learn about those. And many of our audience don't know how to pull public records. They don't know how to get these files. They don't know how to review these cases. They rely on people like me, people like the docket, people like Truth and Transparency. Now, granted, they may have blurred certain images, but that's up to their discretion. And as offensive as that may be to some people, that is how it is. It is not. It is up to whoever gets those documents how they would like to present them. They are public record. What Zav Girl did was not illegal. It did not violate any policies. She did it the right way. She blocked it from the general public, and those who would like to see it could see it. Now, people are talking about a paid wall. How else are you supposed to keep it from the general public? What's Patreon? Okay, so Patreon is another platform that is a paid platform. We're actually going to be moving over to Patreon. I've had the account set up for well over a year. I've just never done.
Where do you get these fucking idiots, huh? Where do you get them?
And I can tell you that I understand that many people are offended. Okay, and I understand the offensiveness that seeing a young child's autopsy report. But it's part of the public record. And this is what I was talking about related to Kylie Rodney when everybody was saying, oh, well, the parents don't need to release the autopsy. And I told you, as soon as this goes to trial, that autopsy is going to be part of the public record, and that autopsy will be discoverable by the public. It is a public trial. It's a public record. Whether we
okay, smart ass. Let's hear
what
this mystery's all about.
Based on emotion. Okay? I know that a lot of us have, emotional and moral and other things that keep us from doing certain things. But it doesn't mean that you can't. It doesn't mean that it's unlawful. And again, the law has no emotion, okay? It's not emotion. It's not emotional. We're emotional. The law is not. And the law is black and white.
Shut up! Oh my God, I don't care!
Just take a step back, because there's going to be a time when those public records, because maybe somebody is arrested wrongfully, convicted wrongfully, those public records are the only thing that help those people get out of those troubles. It's those public records. It's people like activists and people that like that nonprofit that goes around, the Innocence Project. They would never be able to help any of their clients without public record laws. That means showing unobstructed autopsy views. And again, I understand that many people are emotional, that this was in bad taste for a lot of people. But I just want to let you know, in my opinion, she did it the right way. She had a right to share it. She did have a right to share it. She has a lawful right to share it. And again, it may be offensive. I wouldn't watch it, personally. Had I had the autopsy, I may have gone over the information.
Are you serious?
I don't know if I would have showed all the photos, because I believe, it is a responsibility. But if I was behind a private wall with the people that want to see it, would I have shown it? It's possible I could have. I don't know. I'm not presented or put in that position. I have not been put in that position for me to determine one way or another how I would have handled that situation. But to think that she needs to have her channel terminated for doing a lawful act is ridiculous. I think people need to quit being so emotional, but I'm not.
You need to shut the fuck up.
Professionally, I'm not. I'm not an emotional person. I look at this stuff black and white. That's your opinion, palm tree lover. It's wrong. It's your opinion. To other people that are doing a way or another how I would have handled that situation. But to think that she needs to have her channel terminated for doing a lawful act is ridiculous. I think people need to quit being so emotional, but I'm not an emotional person. A lawful act is ridiculous. I think people need to quit being so emotional, but I'm not an emotional person. Lawful act is ridiculous. I think people need to quit being so emotional, but I'm not an emotional person. I'm an emotional person privately, professionally. I'm not an emotional person. I look at this stuff.
Okay, so riddle me this, Batman. So explain why you claim that YouTube is your job, Okay. YouTube is your job. So professionally, you don't get emotional. Yet, how many times have we seen you at your job have a fucking meltdown, drunk as shit, begging for men? Dude, like, let's come on. Are we going to split hairs here? You're not an emotional person? Okay.
Black and white. That's your opinion, palm tree lover. It's wrong as your opinion. To other people that are curious about the case, it was information that they needed to understand. If you knew what I had to watch behind the scenes to be able to explain some of these cases to you, you would wonder why I'm not in a padded room. So that's your opinion. And you know what? In all fairness.
Okay, Betty, we're already wondering why you're not in a padded room. Like, we passed wondering why you're in a padded room about, I don't know, 20 miles back.
Fairness to you, palm tree lover, you don't have to watch it, right? You don't have to tune in. Those that would like to see it and want to tune in, that's for them, not for the people that don't. When I put that 911 call up, I didn't stop from putting that 911 call up. That killed me to hear that 911 call. I was in here in tears listening to that 911 call. Many of you don't know that. Did it stop me from putting it up? No, it didn't. Because
but you're not an emotional person professionally. You don't let emotions get to you. I mean, you just sat here and you just said in the same fucking breath that you don't let your emotions get to you. You don't put your emotions professionally. I mean, what are you talking about? But you cried listening to a 911 call. But I mean, you're not sensitive, right? You look at dead bodies all day, right? Supposedly, as a true crime creator, you look at dead bodies all day, right?
Oh, that must be exhausting.
I mean, come on, Betty.
Because it's a public record that I received above board lawfully. It is content for this channel. It's going to a case that I'm covering. We are all adults here. Many adults are a little more curious than others. And you don't have to agree with people. Just because you don't agree with them doesn't make it right or wrong, in my opinion. It's your opinion. And I really hope that people start realizing you do not have to watch something if you do not like it. You can turn the channel.
Bro, the Karen is
you
real.
You can choose not to support that creator or the content that they provide you. That's the choice you, as the audience, have to do.
Well, he can't
To go around and try to
outsmart me
destroy somebody's
because
channel
I'm
for
a
doing a
moron.
lawful act that you disagree with, to me, is petty and emotional and irrational. Petty, emotional, and irrational. So again, it is your responsibility as the audience to choose to tune in to watch what you want to watch and not watch what you don't want to watch. She put it behind a paid wall. It seems to me more people are upset that she put it behind a paid wall to limit the access to it, which is what the community out here, true crime, is saying, she should have shown it. She didn't show it to the general public. And you know what?
You big dummy.
Dollars acquiring that file. Hundreds of dollars. You have no right to tell her what she can do with her money or what she can do with her content. Again, it's not a popular statement. It's not a popular stance, but it's realistic and it's the reality. Okay? It's the reality. I don't sit here and tell you, my audience, things you want to hear. It'd be so much easier.
All right. That's enough of that idiot. All right. So here we have the News Nation finally got their shit together, it looks like, so that the rest of us can enjoy their content. Thank you, News Nation. I'm just kidding.
The trial just over 2 months ago, Brian, and now we're having to kind of relive some of this stuff and not being able to put it behind us.
Yeah, and I think for me, like, what really pushed it over the edge was the charging the money. I mean, obviously posting it alone would be disgusting, but then charging money to see those photos, it's really, really just awful.
The word I use to describe it is evil, Brian. In my opinion, it's just evil. Like the world got enough information from the trial to have every discussion they want to have. Why do we need to go have freedom of information request and pay for this kind of information and then dishonor my son by putting these photos out there like that. I mean, the world got to see it. I don't know how well you followed it, but the only day I chose not to come to the trial was the day that they showed the autopsy photos. Now I feel like I can't even go on YouTube without the possibility of accidentally coming across these photos.
Yeah, and I when we talked to the prosecutor last night, I mean, they made a special effort to make sure that those photos were not released on the live stream. In other trials that I've covered, they always do that. I mean, they just want the jurors to see them because that's part of obviously the legal process, but it's not the kind of thing that the public needs to see at all. Do you think you may take legal action? Is there anything that you can do to get these off the internet to sort of like protect your son?
We've talked through some of those options. The hard part, Brian, is I am just emotionally and psychologically and financially maxed out from the last 3+ years of this problem.
Now that is so sad right there. And I hate interrupting Al, but this is not live. It's pre-recorded, so we're going to continue it. And I have to add commentary. Now, I've made this point so many times, and Al is confirming the point that I've made so many times, and not just with this case. I'm talking about any other case that I've covered where YouTubers were taking advantage of and exploiting victims and their loved ones. This is what these predators feed off of. These predators feed off of the fact that these loved ones of a victim are so emotionally drained and broken, financially, everything, that they can't do anything about it. They count on them just being like, you know what? I just want peace, man. They count on people like this. They prey on victims who are just done and they just want to move on with their life. This is what predators like Zav Girl does. This is what predators like Bullhorn Betty does. This is what predators like JLR does. This is what predators like Critical K do. Sorry, I was saying predators in plural and saying does. Sometimes I'm a little stupid. But this is what they do. This is exactly what they do. They're bullies. What does a bully do? They pick on someone when they're down, when they're weak. That's what a bully does. They pick on someone when they're down, broken, and weak, who have no desire to fight back. People who just want peace. Think about it. A kid in school who's most likely to get bullied is usually the kid who just wants to get along with everyone. 99% of the time. That's what bullies do. Bullies prey on people who just don't want to fight back, who just want peace.
Process.
Hold on. Southwest 4x4 Explorers, thank you so much. Zav and all who showed those photos are trash and fucked up in the head. Please give this family peace and let Gannon rest in peace. Agreed. Thank you.
To take legal action, I just don't know if I have that in me. But what I'm trying to do with you tonight, and I appreciate you having us on, is to help shape the narrative. And I don't really think I have to do much. Based on the messages you've received and the feedback I've seen from other responses, I don't think it's going to take much from us to have these people, repointed in the right direction.
Yeah, I think people just lose sight of the fact that these are real families.
Let's pause and look at some of these comments that he's got highlighted up here. These are just tweets. This is sick. My heart breaks for Gannon's family all over again. Thank you, Brian, for speaking out about this. It's sickening. I feel this should be criminal with dealing with a child. Pornography law should apply. Lawsuit. The family should take every penny and she earned and more. Agreed.
Families dealing with this. I mean, there there's a true crime community and 99% of them have good intentions and are really focused on the victims. I'm sure you've felt that.
See, that's dope as hell, man. Thank you, Brian. Thank you so much for pointing that out.
Through all of this, but there's just those bad apples out there that are trying to make money. The other thing I keep thinking about is the fact that she and others were even able to get the photos. It seems like there should be some kind of law, or it shouldn't be that easy to just write a check and put in a request and be able to get those photos sent to you.
Yeah, once again, I think that's a question for a legal representative. I do believe in the freedom of information to a certain extent, but I think the problem from my perspective is you can't always control what someone with evil intentions will do, and that's what we have in this case here. So I don't know. I'm not a legal guy. I'd have to look at the ins and outs of the FOIA Act and all that. But there is a lot of good that comes out of release of information. It's just in this instance, and having to bear this burden myself, it's hard to say this, but in this instance, someone has taken that and turned it into evil.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. Well, Al, thank you for coming on. Again, I'm so sorry that you had to go through this. I totally understand you being emotionally exhausted, and this now just adding on to that. I hope that people will continue to be outraged by this, and they can sort of police themselves in a way on YouTube, because it's just, it's just awful, especially when you think about family members like you, Al. So thank you for coming on tonight. I hope people who posted the photos are watching and can hear it straight from you, how it makes you feel.
Yeah, I hope so too, Brian. And in closing, I do want to leave you with, I think we're really getting focused on less than 1% of the people, because the majority of people I've come in contact with throughout this past 3+ years have been absolutely sustained me and helped me to fight through this process for my son. So I do want to give credit where credit is due on that. And I think those people will continue to shape the narrative that this is unacceptable behavior by a very small portion of people that seek to benefit from, my son's, those horrible pictures of my son. So thank you again, Brian.
Yeah, thank you. I totally agree with you. I'm glad you said that. We'll be in touch. Hopefully we can stay on the story, and maybe we can find some lawmakers or someone who want to spearhead a project to just make it a little more difficult. Obviously, like you said, it's good to be able to file a FOIA and get information, but certain things I think are just too much. It should be a little more difficult. So thank you again, Al. We'll be in touch.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation and your cable.
All right, Al. Yeah. So, I wish I'd gotten Brian Enton's entire commentary prior to that. I'm sorry that I could not find a provider that could play it live. I do apologize for that. But I think that you guys are great, and I am really grateful to you guys for hanging out with me. I have a great time with you guys always. And doing this is one of my favorite things to do. Which is just hanging out with you guys. So it means a lot that you guys are here. And all of you guys that are new to the channel, I really appreciate you subscribing, and I hope that you're enjoying the channel so far. And we're going to talk about other cases. I've been so concerned because usually I do cover cases and talk about cases, but mostly what I end up talking about is actually this issue with the tragedy pimps in our community. So I've been much more focused on what's been going on with this Zavgirl stuff. Yes, Welsh, thank you so much. This has reached UK News Glare. Yes, I'm aware. The Independent, I know that. I know there's more. There's just not on news on the YouTube News Nation here. I've already played. Yeah, that's it. So yeah. And the New York Post did one too. I know that I let me just I'm curious. I mean, dude. Yo, okay. This is so far what pops up in my when I search for Zav Girl, just Googling Zav Girl. But autopsy photos came up automatically. Like it like auto corrected in my search. You got the New York Post talking about it. You got the Daily Mail talking about it. You've got News Nation talking about it. You've got Newsweek talking about it. You've got Hindustan Times talking about it. You've got Visaka talking about it. Crime Online talking about it. YC News, The Messenger, Meow. TD Pell Media. I mean, it's everywhere. It's everywhere because it's that important. And I'm really glad that it's everywhere. And I'm really glad that the parents are speaking up, Al and Landon, speaking up and saying that they're glad that it's being exposed. And to hear Michael Allen, the prosecutor in the Letitia Staup trial, saying that he's grateful that that Brian Enton put so much light into it. That's very powerful for Brian Enton to put this out simply from being angry. And Good Morning America too, Duty Ron. Wow. Let me give Duty Ron a here real quick. Because you never know if my chat goes too fast. I don't want Duty Ron having to wait to make comments. So I like to give creators that I like and respect a lot after a while of knowing them a wrench. So Duty Ron, you have you got the VIP in the chat, homie. So yeah, to hear Michael Allen last night discuss how and thank Brian Enton for bringing this to light. It's clear that they want this problem out there in the open so that people know what not to do. This is what I've been saying for the last couple of years since I've been talking about this problem in our community. And it's very, very important because it's a big problem. And as grateful as I am that it's happening now, I can only imagine if this was taken so much more seriously before, Duty Ron, if this was taken this seriously a couple of years earlier, this wouldn't have happened. And so many of us have been trying to shine a light on this, and then some of us get categorized as drama channels because we call these creators out. That is not what this channel is. I don't have back and forth personal riffs with other creators. I see creators doing horrible shit where they further victimize victims, and I call them out on it. And it has to be done. And the reason why I call them out on it is not to create a rift or a drama in this community. It is to shine a light on the wrong that they do. And the only way to truly do that is to call them out by name and go over their content and show people what they're doing and remove the veil. So, and I'm constantly, I'm not going to stop doing this until it becomes a mainstream it becomes a mainstream habit, basically, to have to hold a higher standard for your creators, for your content from your creators. It's very, very important to me. Because the general consensus used to be, well, if you don't give them any attention, well, then, you're not empowering them. But the problem is that they just continue. If you don't give them attention, there's still that group of people, and they're still releasing stuff out there into the world. Just because it's not autopsy photos of an 11-year-old boy, it's extremely damaging for people to spread rumors and misinformation and hearsay before any evidence is actually presented in these cases. It's extremely damaging, and it can absolutely impede on an open investigation. You could be costing a victim justice. Right now, the TBI has nothing. They are in no way closer to solving the Summer Wells case as they were 2 years ago. And that is because, and I say this because the TBI publicly stated this in a press conference, and they said that the reason why is due to all of the misinformation being spread around on social media. And the reason why that is because people continue to call the TBI tip line with their bullshit theories, like as if they're going to solve the case. Yeah, I didn't sign in with my. I can't. I don't remember my password, dude. I couldn't. There's just no way I could have done that. But yeah, but I appreciate it. So you have to understand, like, these cases, you've got to understand that it's not like television, okay? Like a place like Hawkins County, Tennessee, they're not going to have the resources like a fictional Manhattan special victims unit is going to have to solve a crime. They're much better staffed. They have more funding. Hawkins County has nothing. That stuff doesn't happen there. High profile missing children, it doesn't happen. So we have to try to consider these things, So when you flood a phone line, a tip line that could, because, okay, this is the thing. You have to understand also, law enforcement have to explore every possibility. They can't just pick up the phone and there's a tip line and then they go, yeah, whatever, later. No, that's irresponsible, because every tip could be credible. They have to humor the person calling and follow up on every single tip. That takes time, money, resources that they just don't have in Hawkins County. So a high profile case like the Summer Wells case, it's no shocker that these people have no leads. And we're talking about the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, the Tennessee branch of the FBI, and we have Hawkins County Sheriff's Department, 3 different law enforcement agencies working on the Summer Wells case. And the reason why they don't have any credible leads is because you people on the internet have flooded their resources. You've sucked up their resources because you think that you're a sleuth. You think that whatever the fuck Jody Sue asshole down the street said is somehow credible, and that the FBI wouldn't already know about it. You think that you sitting behind your computer is going to come up with answers any quicker than experienced law enforcement agencies that are trained to investigate these things? You think that what you know, they don't know already? You think you're dropping revelations on these experienced investigators? No, you're not. But what a perfect little community we would have if everyone would just simply shut the fuck up and wait for the facts to come out. Then do your little sleuthing. But wait for the facts. Let law enforcement do their job. And they'll share with you what is important, because the public does have a right to know. And they will share with mainstream media or a credible news source any facts that you could help with the investigation, that you could use to help with the investigation. Simple. But chances are you're not going to be able to help with the investigation because you're not an experienced investigator. So know your role and shut the fuck up. And let the cops who are trained do their job. And wait for the facts. Simple. It's not that hard. Humble yourself, because you're not a fucking Sherlock Holmes sleuth that just hasn't been discovered. You're not going to end up on some Netflix documentary because you solved the crime. It's not going to happen. Wake up. Because I want these victims found. If it's a missing person, I want that victim found. And the only people that have a really good chance of finding this person who I want found is going to be the experienced law enforcement investigators who are trained to do so. Nobody else. Not you. Hell, not even Duty Ron. Duty Ron is an experienced investigator. Do you see him sitting there fucking sleuthing? No. You know why? Because it's not his case. He knows better than to interfere with an investigation. You know what I mean? Like, just look at the cops, at least the credible ones, the former law enforcement officers that are credible, that have YouTube channels. Duty Ron, Police Off the Cuff, Profiling Evil, Mike King. Those are channels that I would absolutely recommend 100 times over. And you will never see any of them sit there and go, well, I think this is what happened. Because that's irresponsible for them to do. They know better. And just because Duty Ron might be able to bring something to the table, he's not gonna butt in. And you're not gonna see Duty Ron showing up for a photo op to Idaho and stand there like hoping to get into the camera shot, you know, with all the other investigators during a press conference and be seen wearing his sunglasses, you know. I discovered the glove. I discovered the glove in the Idaho 4 investigation. Shut the fuck up. You did nothing. You did nothing. Go eat one. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap this up. Do rest this, because when I was active, if somebody interfered with my investigation, I'd lock them up. There you go. Duty Ron, thank you so much. We love you, Duty Ron. You are absolutely, totally fantastic. All right, guys. I love you. I'm going to wrap this up, and we will do this again very soon, my friends.